hunger, you've got desire, you've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You gotta rise to the challenge. Show them what you got. Set up and take what's yours. You are kings now, class of titans.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Episode, I don't remember.
Hello. 87, I believe.
Thank you.
87. Starcade 87.
Yeah.
Can we do a Starcade next time?
Well, we do have we can do a Starcade, but we do have an idea
It'll
for
be December.
Yeah, but we do have our idea for the next topic already.
Oh,
We'll talk about that a little later. Yeah. Let me go here and check out our comments. If you are in the chat, hit us up with a comment. Make sure this works. We are trying a brand new service tonight. It is it's through Streamyard. So we're dumping OBS Streamlabs because this Streamyard thing,
assholes.
They are assholes. They made fun of our mothers. No, this app kind of puts Brian in the chat. I don't have to have 14 apps open to do 13 different things. This app kind of takes care of it all of itself.
There.
Yeah, we have a little ticker on the bottom. I think we could do cool things with people where I can like show your comment. How about that?
Whoa.
Yeah, look at that stuff. Like there's Brian's test. There you go.
Test.
So
I was just talking about my
His
favorite wrestler from Survivor Series 2001. More on that later.
Yeah.
God.
So we're gonna try this new streaming service. This puts us on YouTube, Twitch. So we're back on Twitch.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Andrew Hare always raises that.
Yeah, look how high it is.
I
What
know,
is he? He sits up. Was he 8 foot tall?
He's Andre the Giant.
Or
over here.
Shaq sitting there. Shaq gonna talk about wrestling Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
That's what Shaq.
I have some unboxing, so maybe we could do a live unboxing then after
All right,
this.
I
too.
have a new comic thing coming. I know that has nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah. So we're gonna try this new stream out. Let us know
We'll
what
do
you
that.
guys think of it. If you are watching, make sure you hit that share and subscribe. It's gonna help me with the uploading later. I don't have to upload as much
Oh,
later.
good.
Then.
Well, yeah, anything to make it easier.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Now, once again, some changes to the show. This is our first time doing it. Now, starting December, so the next time we watch the show, we're not sure the exact date yet, but we are going to be on Friday nights.
Yeah, once a month, possibly twice, depending
Yes.
on the weeks, how the weeks flow.
Yeah, it really depends on how our football teams are doing too, because if the way it's
No.
looking,
Not so good.
we may be we could do 2 days a week earlier. So yeah. Now, obviously, with this new stream service, we can't do the fancy graphics and stuff like you guys seen before. We can do that. We just have to physically make them now. We can't go to another app or something like that. I think I can go and buy them off websites and just pay for this individual ones. But that's all coming soon. So we have a little bit of a rebrand here. It's a different app we're trying to put the show out there. So let us know what you think. If you're in the chat, definitely say what's up. Malford, we did say what's up. Hi to you. So he said, yo, bro. So thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Share it to your friends. Let us know we exist. Last call for this one. Yeah. So if you guys want the merchandise, get it now, because at the end of this month it is gone.
Gonna switch them around a bit.
We're switching to the new logo. So if you guys see this, here, we'll pop it back up real quick. Check this out. Look at this logo. Boom. Look at it.
Wow.
There's Andy as some warrior guy.
Yeah.
There's me. I'm looking pretty macho, and
Dingo warrior.
he's doing some Vulcan thing with his fingers. I don't know exactly what that means, but
Big Star Trek fan.
yeah, huge Star Trek fan.
So to connect two of them, New Japan for the Vader gimmick.
Yeah.
Well, originally wanted Jim Hellwig, Ultimate Warrior, to be Vader.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Could you imagine if Jim Hellwig went to Japan and they gave him the Warrior or the Big Man Vader gimmick with the
That lasted very long.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Then he never went to Japan, but that's probably for the best.
Yeah. Now that logo will be available at the end of this month. We will put it up there. Don't get your hopes up, because as soon as that C and D comes, we probably will have to take it down. So as soon
I
as
think that's parody. I think that's parody.
I think it's parody
it
too.
looks very close. It depends. Who owns the rights for now? Vader's on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yes.
Is Vader's son are gonna come after us? Probably not. His son from Boy Meets World, obviously.
Yeah.
Frankie the
Macho
Enforcer, yeah.
also on Pro Wrestling Tees. So I don't know.
Yeah. So when that shirt comes up, if you do like it, snatch it up quick because it may not be around very long.
Yeah.
We will buy a banner of it.
Out of
The
our head,
banner,
yeah.
the banner will
That
be
can
up.
stay.
Yeah, I love the new logo. And
if you want a logo of your own,
yes.
similarly, what's her bewitching something?
Yes. So I'm not sure how this works on this new this test lab or whatever the hell it's called or StreamYards. But in the links below, I did get rid of some links. If you've seen. Now, that being said, if you click on the tornado tag links and you click on, it's going to pop up a link tree, and all those link trees will show up. Murder My Dude, your pro wrestling tees for blue and gold are going to be listed in there, and also Bewitched and Clover Designs are going to be in our link tree. Yeah. So it's kind of condensing that space, so we don't have it flooded with a bunch of stuff. But all the logo, not like I don't have her Instagram. I don't have the Instagram. All that's linked.
As long as you have one thing, people get in hold of.
Absolutely,
she makes all the designs now for all the shows.
Yes.
What we will be having from now on.
Banging Beers and interviews are the everyday people. Only one she hasn't made a logo for yet, but that is coming soon.
Yeah, so I mean, and if you want a logo, hit her up. She'll do a logo for your business, for a T-shirt, if you're a wrestler.
She's unbelievable.
Whatever you want, and she does them up quick too.
Yeah,
a couple days.
Yeah. So go check out that page. She's unbelievable. Oh my God, look at this, Alexa.
Whoa.
Alexa Sunday in the chat. We haven't heard of her in forever.
I thought she was dead.
Yeah, we thought you died. There you go. We'll put that in the chat there. It's been a while. It's good to see you back, Alexis.
What'd she say? I can't. That's harder to read.
She just said hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What I do is I'll put them on the screen.
Oh, because it's like black on gray, light gray.
Yeah.
It was easier for me to read the white on black.
Yeah. That was our super fan. I hope she's still our super fan.
Yeah.
You know? She hasn't been here in a while, but hopefully we can. She comes back and hangs out. Jen and Alexis are like battling for super fan and for supremacy. But yeah, so another quick thing, we do have our banner giveaway coming up soon. So the banner you see behind Andy and our old banner are going to be up for giveaways very soon. So what we're going to do for Royal Rumble is if you want in, send us a message or say in the chat you want in. We have one person in so far. We're going to get up to 30 people. You're going to pick a number. If your number wins the Royal Rumble, that the banner's yours. We're going to do this banner behind Andy for the female Rumble. And then the men's Rumble will be our old school banner.
Okay.
That was featured at PPW Wrestling.
Yeah,
it was all hung up and looked really nice. So those will be available very, very soon. So if you want in, send us a message and make sure you grab that merchandise before it all goes away. It's pretty much all I got news-wise. Just Andy's eating donuts. I did not get a donut. I'm really looking forward to after the show to get a donut.
There is no. I mean, I ate them all. No.
So Brian, is there any news? I mean, there's a few news topics that are out pretty popular right now.
The big thing that happened so far this week is they did a title change on Raw. Drew won the title back.
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah. Wasn't there a title change on another promotion too?
Deanna Purrazzo won the women's title back.
Yeah, and the Good Brothers won the Impact Tag titles.
Yeah, so there's been 3 title changes.
And she just dropped it to, I forget who she lost it to, but she only had it there a month.
Su Young, I think.
Su Young had for a month, and Deanna
apparently, Kylie Ray was supposed to win it. At Bound for Glory, but Su Young was a substitute, so they just had her win it instead.
Yeah, the title situation at Impact is definitely interesting right now. Like with everything going on, who goes where, and the women's division's hurting. And you have pretty talented people who are not champions now, so it's really interesting to see how it goes.
The Rascals are leaving. One of the reasons the North might have dropped the title is maybe Ethan Page is leaving. Who knows?
Yeah. And they were really plugging the machine. Who's the guy? Other team from Impact. I don't know.
Machine Guns.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're going to be there. I don't know how long their deal is, but they were talking about them really heavy on AEW.
Yeah, I forget the name of the team that wrestled the Young Bucks, the younger guys. They're like 18. Top Flight, Top Flight. Yeah, they were really putting over the Machine Guns.
I mean, if I'm AEW, I would feel I have enough tag teams. But I mean, you could get rid of a few, and I would definitely bring the Machine Guns.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that Top Flight wasn't bad. They were good.
I didn't see. I helped my friend move more chairs again, so I missed everything. But I heard the women's match of both shows was very good. Rhea versus EO, and then Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb.
I think it's gonna be the last time we see Rhea on NXT. I think that was that was her call-up match. I think.
But didn't she get called up before for a little bit?
I think she just kind of went up there in Survivor Series to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She had the thing with Charlotte, so I think that for that they did some back and forth with her on there when she was wrestling Charlotte at Mania. But yeah, I think she's going to be coming up full time.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
Yeah, it's
anytime someone leaves NXT, I'm like, I ain't gonna see them no more.
Well, here's the thing.
I can see them pushing Rhea though. Rhea's got size. Rhea's got what they look for.
But I mean,
and there's a lot of things going on in the women's division now that you don't need a belt for.
Tyler Black. Yeah, that's true. I was going to look at Tyler Black. Look at Aleister Black. But when we talk about that, Selena Vega released,
fired for making an OnlyFans.
Yeah, and she wouldn't give up her Twitch, but I don't blame her.
Yeah,
because they're independent contractors.
But Paige did the same thing.
I know, and she's still there.
Interesting.
So it's like, they want to hold on to Paige for some reason, but Selena will let her go.
I think Selena did very well somewhere else.
Yeah,
I think she's very talented.
She made enough. She made more money on Twitch per month than her WWE contract.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And her OnlyFans, which I support you doing OnlyFans, but if you're gonna charge $30 and you ain't getting naked, get the hell out of here.
It is what it is. If you want,
I wouldn't pay $30.
I wouldn't pay $30 for even if
for not. I wouldn't pay $30 for nudity.
Yeah, even if you're naked, I'm not paying $30 for it. But it is a stretch. You know what I mean?
It's a niche thing for her too. She even before she was in WWE, she was really big into the cosplay community. So if you're really hardcore into that and you want to see like the different looks she's doing for that, then I can understand. But yeah, no matter what, I'm not paying $25 for an OnlyFans or Patreon or anything.
Megan Minx.
Maybe
Megan Minx shows up in AEW.
Yeah. I will say I'm not doing a full review. If you guys want to check out a full review show of everything that goes on, check out the Duke's Dive on All Things Podcast, a really good friend of ours, and check out the PA Piledriver Podcast. I'll tell you what, I think is it Mario? I think his name is. He had a really good point that I agree with him on in that podcast I was listening to. So they're kind of like a week behind. They put out their episodes on Sunday, so everything kind of happens. They put it out on Sunday, and then you're it's like a little behind, but it's still good. But he said that, and I agree that maybe Sasha Banks drops the belt soon, because you don't need Sasha Banks Bailey at Mania to have belt implications.
No.
And I think that rivalry is something people want to see go on for a little while, and you don't need to tie up a belt with it. Just kind of dump the belt off, like with Randy Orton. If Randy Orton's gonna do the thing with Edge, you don't need a belt involved in that.
No.
So you can kind of free up that title, give people an opportunity, like maybe Mella gets a small run, and you kind of play around with that division a little bit. But I mean, even if Rhea Ripley comes up or you have somebody else moving up, you can play with that title a little bit now.
Somebody's going to be coming back soon, and they might be coming back to SmackDown.
Yeah,
the Queen.
Somebody's having a baby. No, somebody's having a baby next month, and then they'll be back shortly after that.
Oh, Becky.
Yeah. I think honestly, if I'm Becky or Charlotte, I'm waiting for Rumble.
That'll be the best time. I mean, Charlotte.
I'm sure Becky is not going to come out of the maternity ward and be like, "Yep, let's go back to work."
Yeah,
you never know.
Even Seth, I think, is getting like 4 or 6 weeks off. So it would probably be more toward the Rumble that they're ready to go.
Charlotte tweeted and said, "I miss you," like to the fans.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, man. Sometimes you go away makes it better. You know.
Yeah, I put have Rhea win though.
Yeah,
Royal Rumble. That'd be my number one pick.
Yeah,
it's gonna be her and Charlotte probably last two, and then Becky. If Becky shows up. Honestly, and maybe Ronda, if Ronda decides she wants to not have a kid.
You know who I think it's time to maybe put a belt on, even if it's a small run?
Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair. Yes. Yeah, I think Bianca, it's her time.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little early. You could build that to like maybe next Mania after SummerSlam. She's got plenty of time. She's gonna win that title a bunch. So
yeah. If you want to put something different, maybe Natty for a little bit. Transitional.
I mean, she has a tag team champions right now, but I would like to see Shayna Baszler with the title.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I think Nia has to go because she's gotten worse.
Who got hurt now? Liv, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was Nia's fault, but she threw her out. They said her feet got tangled and she broke her arm. Right?
Yeah.
No, she broke her. Chelsea Green broke her wrist.
Yeah.
Liv did something though. That she hurt her leg or something.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of want to see Liv Morgan and Dana Brooke maybe become tag team champions.
Okay, yeah.
And then maybe battle with the new Riot Squad.
Mandy and Dana Brooke?
Yeah, Mandy and Dana Brooke. And then have them rival the Riot Squad a little bit.
Okay.
We have enough 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need to have titles on them anymore. Let's build new roster. Let's build the women's division up a little bit.
Put them with other women.
Exactly.
It's funny you say that. That's another clue that Rhea might be headed up is... It looked for a while they were pushing this Rhea Ripley Ember Moon tag team, like that would be a good women's tag team champions right there. And then this week on NXT, Ember's team with Toni Storm.
Yeah,
I like that team too.
Oh, Ember Moon and Toni Storm. That's like my dream team right
Darkside.
There. Yeah, team holy hell.
I'll be perverted.
Yeah. 4 people hanging out tonight. Thank you guys so much for being in the chat. Let us know what you think of the new layout.
Swing a coffin for the working man.
Yeah. New layout. Let us know what you think of it. Type in the chat. We have 4 different streaming platforms going right now, 3 or 4. I don't know. We have a few going. We're excited.
And while we're talking about all these people having babies, another one, Renee Paquette. Now she's going by her her given name.
Brother.
Yeah.
Well, I guess her name now is Renee Good, but I don't know, who
Yeah,
knows.
yeah,
But no, her and John Moxley kind of just subtly dropped it in there in his promo that he has a pregnant wife at home.
Dean Ambrose shirt on right now.
I'll tell you what. We're not gonna do a full rundown of what happened at Full Gear. But I mean,
Good show.
good show.
Yeah,
I mean,
very good show.
I think this last week of wrestling has been decent. SmackDown, Raw, NXT, AEW were all decent shows.
Mhm.
I can't say anything for Impact. I didn't watch it.
Well, nobody did.
It wasn't very long, but I was a big fan, again, right up my alley, of the Arturo Uwas Kushida match, and it was just that typical mat wrestling, very focused on that, and because they do the big thing where they're doing a teaser for Arturo Uwas when he's wrestling Kushida, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna bury Kushida here, and then he wins, so it was good all around.
Cheetah.
I almost had a heart attack when Heidi I didn't even know she was watching it by herself upstairs. Like, for Heidi to turn wrestling on is insane to me. And then she put the group chat, she goes, is this Kushida supposed to be Marty McFly?
Yeah.
And I literally was like, what?
And I send the gif of him getting out of the DeLorean.
Yeah. Curtis says, what's up? What's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. We did plug you guys. So we said, if you want to get a full rundown of Full Gear and everything that's going on weekly, definitely go check those guys out. They do a great job, as well as the Duke's Dive. They're coming up on their 1-year anniversary for their show. I believe I think it's 1. Is it 1 or 2 years? I completely had a brain fart. Our official show debut was yesterday.
Wow,
So we just hit 2 years old as the podcast.
I was
We hit
Outbreak
2.
champion at the time.
You
I gave
were.
up my photo too, my on Facebook.
Yeah.
We won the belt when I put the fridge like CM Punk.
Our podcast was 2 years old. Mitch from PPW made his debut 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, as the behind the scenes guy.
Yeah, it's the Mean Gene.
The Mean Gene of PPW. I believe PA Pod Driver's a year. I could be wrong. Kurt, if you're in the chat, let us know. I think it's a year.
Put that cigarette out.
Put it in there. But yeah, let's get into this week in wrestling history as 1 year. So congratulations to those guys. We'll put
I was
that
just
up
gonna say real quick. They announced Kenny Omega versus John Moxley, December 2nd. Winner is coming. Dun,
Yeah,
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
and then somebody attacked Moxley out back, and now he's Bran Stark.
Well, you know who it was?
Oh.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, absolutely. That's
Yeah,
exactly
the
what it was.
winner is coming. But no, I'm looking forward to that show. I think that would be a must-watch Dynamite.
I'll tell you what, they're
I
doing.
think he wins the belt. A lot of
think
people
it's
saying
time.
this, and then Moxley goes to do Wrestle Kingdom, and he can drop the title or keep it.
Mhm.
But he has to wrestle because Kenta has the title shot. He has the briefcase for the U.S. title shot that Moxley has, New Japan title.
What if he goes to Japan,
Mhm.
defends it, keeps it,
That's what I'm thinking.
and
Swerve.
he works a little bit of a deal out that maybe Kenta cashes in at an AEW
The
show?
deal's coming, yeah, because Kenta will not beat Moxley as world champion.
Mhm.
Like, no, AEW won't let it happen. But if he loses the belt and Kenta goes on Dynamite and wins it, because Kenta lives in the U.S. and they have that New Japan Strong show. It's on the U.S. helping everybody out. They're
Yeah.
working with NWA. They're working with Impact.
Yeah.
It's coming.
AEW
Tanahashi wants to wrestle in America, baby. Tanahashi wants to wrestle. You let him.
Yeah, it's good. I'll tell you what, AEW is
And there's 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom. They need people.
yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be really fun. That's a huge door opening. Like, for me, someone who's like has a hard time with Japan because the translations and stuff.
And the time.
Now you can kind of sneak some guys in, put them in like a month or two storyline, and WB, like in AEW, I can hear them do promos, I can hear them work, I can see them perform on an American level. That's big for New Japan.
Yeah.
And then they can
Helps
translate.
everybody.
Then they can translate over to their American TV show coming. That's big. It's big for Japan. That's a really good deal. And if them all kind of working together is going to be nothing but fun. And then, ROH maybe in the works. Who knows? Like,
Yeah, ROH is kind of
And-
in
And they were really, during that Thunder Rosa Serena Deeb match, they really did a lot to put over on commentary, the NWA too.
I think
Yeah.
they're what would be the word?
Like a
Sure.
feeder league almost, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the show's coming back soon.
Yeah.
Eminent. NWA is coming back. The comeback is eminent, or
Yeah.
whatever you would say. I can't wait, man. That's where I want to wrestle.
Yeah, we are using the StreamYard. It's brand new. We're trying it tonight. It seems like it's working pretty well. It's able. We were using the OBS Streamlabs, and it was giving us too many issues with dropouts, and we had 2 issues where it froze my computer, and I lost my entire interviews. Like, I lost the whole first half of the interview, and then when we had to reconnect,
Yeah, that sucks.
and then trying to add people from Skype into the live stream was just like you had to like backdoor the app to get the other person in, and the Streamlabs I can just add Brian straight in. So I'm not using 4 different apps to do one thing.
Yeah.
So I think we have to manually make our graphics now. So to see those cool transitions and stuff is going to be a little bit. Just give us time, but this is really neat, man. I like the ticker on the bottom. We can add stuff to that ticker. A cool thing with this too is we do have people who want to intern and do stuff with the show. I think the way this works is I can give them access as administrative. They can make an account, log in, and run all
the bottom.
cool. Run like how right now like I can do this like so we're solo, so when we talk it does this.
Okay.
And then I can kind of go back and bring Brian back in.
Okay.
Someone can do that third party and add it and change everything.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so I don't even need to have someone here in the computer to do all that stuff.
No.
And then the chats are all together. I can add I could put Curtis's chat.
Oh, that's cool.
Right there on the screen.
That's like if someone had a question, we bring up the question.
Yeah.
And then we talk about that question.
Yeah.
I love it. I think this is a cool app. It is a little more pricey than my last one was, but I think it's I think this app does a lot more maintenance and add stuff.
Get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah. So
there's also a duck in the corner too. It looks like a little goofy Pokemon.
Yeah, so that's their little duck there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about
Godfrey. And then he could say something. He do an off-color joke, and then they're like, "We're not going to use it anymore."
Well, actually, there was one more little bit of news. The AEW gaming line announced.
Oh yeah,
since last time we were on. People were shit on the graphics of the new
game.
The
graphics do look terrible, but I mean, it did say very early design.
But I kind of like the art style.
Oh no, the art style is fine.
Yeah.
The graphics themselves. Yeah. But I mean, it's very early on. Every game looks shitty very early on.
Yeah, it looked like a PS3 game, but obviously they're going to touch that up.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Intergender matches.
Intergender.
Yeah. They're saying they got the guy that was the producer. Well, Ukes, I mean, they made good SmackDown games. They also made real bad SmackDown games.
Yeah.
But they got the producer that did No Mercy and Def Jam Vendetta, which was the first one that was all wrestling.
Yep.
So.
Well, the first 2 were all wrestling.
Yeah, the second one you would fight
in like garages. And
stuff. But the first one was just all strict wrestling rings.
Yeah.
I mean, the second one was good too.
Yeah.
Third one not so much. But
third one's terrible.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Then they have the mobile game, the like GM manager, whatever. And then the casino game, I'm like, who cares?
I think they're going to start putting slot machines up. And I think if you play because the gambling is kind of state countrywide, you can go on and play slot machines and win money.
Yeah, maybe like
so I think they're going to have deals with MGM or whatever.
I guess if you got people, like, what do wrestling fans want? I want a AEW themed gambling game.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
It's a licensing thing where they're just going to get paid to slap AEW stuff on it. It's Get
all the money they can right now.
Yeah, give us that main wrestling game.
And there's a documentary coming out where it's showing off all of their I guess their stories of the journey of AEW.
Oh, okay.
They kind of teased it a few times. I don't know if the name of it though, unless you know, Brian.
I have 2.
I don't.
Off that.
Yeah. It showed Nyla on the top of the car saying I'm the first transgender woman of color.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I didn't realize it was like a documentary coming out. I thought there was just like a little ad. It was like Road to Revolution or something like that.
Yeah. We'll say speaking of documentary, Darkside of the Ring announced that they have 14 new episodes coming. One is the Korean WCW show, Battle in Korea or whatever it's called.
Okay. Collision in Korea.
Collision in Korea, the Smith family, which is Jake Roberts, Rockin' Robin, Grizzly Smith, and then Sam Houston. So that should be a good one. And then what was the other one? Brian Pillman.
Nice.
Yeah. And they didn't announce the rest. They said they're still actually making the season. So there's actually some that they haven't started yet.
They do a fantastic job.
I think with some of those are the ones Bischoff kind of leaked because they was like they talked to him about them.
I was at the podcast where I interviewed him, and they're like, and this one, Eric Bischoff. It's like when someone said this one, but I don't know, looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to February 21st to take it back to video games. That's when Retro Mania Wrestling comes out.
Yeah, official date.
And if you buy the digital, you get $5 or $10 off the physical from Limited Run Games.
Yeah.
So there you go.
How
about that for?
Yeah.
And if you're a reader, the Young Bucks book just came out, I believe.
Yes, it did.
Killing the business from the backyards to the big leagues.
There we go.
Jericho had his birthday.
Yeah, 50. 50 years old.
Still killing the game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Just give another plug to the PA guys. They had an interesting take on where Jericho ranks in your all-time greats.
Yeah. The longer he wrestles, the higher he gets.
He's honestly so my top 3 of all time have always been HBK, Ric Flair, Chris Jericho. That's just always been my 3. Followed behind Savage, and then probably behind Savage. It's tough because it's Eddie. Probably Eddie's in there.
It's your list,
But I'll tell you what, Jericho And they said like the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, who would be on there.
Which it's hard, you know.
I think he deserves.
He's not on Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore is probably like what, Thez, Flair, Hogan, and you can pick your third.
Steve Austin. Or
I would say Austin. Yeah,
Austin.
Say, yeah,
it's hard because when you go by who's successful, who's the best in the ring, who's the best talker.
Yeah. It's a tough debate, but So happy birthday to Jericho, super cool dude. And then been watching. I watched Hot Ones today with Undertaker.
What's hot? Oh, I was thinking Hot Fuzz.
They eat hot wings.
Oh, okay, I did see that. I don't want to see the Undertaker do anything. I just want to see him not be on TV.
I'll tell you what though, I kind of like the fact that he's like telling stories. He's kind of talking more, and because like Heidi was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. That's the Undertaker," and I was like, "You have no idea how different this is."
Yeah,
because literally for a 30-year career, he didn't do anything.
Yeah,
outside of his character.
He was biker Undertaker.
Yeah,
but still,
but he didn't do promos. He didn't do interviews.
Well, he did promo, but nothing outside of wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah, it was all the business. So the fact that he's like out there doing stuff, and we're kind of getting that behind the scenes look at Taker is really, really interesting to me.
Even that movie that came out in the early 2000s, Beyond the Mat, where it really follows around Mick Foley and a bunch of other people, Terry Funk. And with Undertaker, the only time you really see him in the whole movie, he has his back to the camera, he's sitting at the table on the phone. And I remember that was one of the first movies I got on DVD. And if you listen to the director's commentary, the director of the movie makes a point of saying, he's very protective of his character, and he made it clear that he did not want to be involved. He's like, and I totally respect that.
He probably said, look, I don't want to
at the very end.
That's how they should treat like Aleister Black.
Yeah. At the very end, he asked him a really good question, just like, what do you want people to think of your career and everything like that. And he got choked up. Like, I mean, obviously he was also tearing up from the hot sauce, but he got emotional. He's like, man, it's hot sauce. Yeah, it was really good. So, I mean, we'll get into Survivor Series in a minute here, but we'll do a quick one while we have Taker, because that's going to be our next episode. We're going to do all Taker. We're going to do our topic as a Taker, the Undertaker. He's going out
to the Starcade. Maybe he didn't.
No, it was definitely Clash of Champions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah.
It might have been. We'll have to go back and see what.
Yeah.
So
I'll probably binge watch the documentary that just came out, and he's going out in the same pay-per-view he came in on, Survivor Series.
So he says.
So he said.
I smell an angle. I smell an angle.
Who do you think? Well, first off,
I don't want to see him wrestle anybody.
You don't think
he probably will wrestle someone? I don't want to see him wrestle anybody.
Yeah, I would be fine if he doesn't, and I'd be fine if he does. It is what it is.
I mean, it's like there's a guy like, you've done enough for the wrestling business. You don't have to do anything else.
He wants one last.
He always wants one good match. But like,
who do you pick for his opponent?
Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan.
Ooh,
yeah. You need someone that can work. AJ or AJ. If him and AJ had a real match.
Okay, Brian.
I think if they do it, like, AJ will probably be the guy, because you set up with the Boneyard match. Andy had a great idea there, because Daniel Bryan can, if you give him enough time, he can concoct a good match with literally anybody. Like the dream, and they'll never do it because he had a bad taste in his mouth from the last one, is if they brought Shawn Michaels back and they both went out together.
If that music hits, you will see a grown man cry this Sunday. I'm not even gonna lie. I will weep like a baby if that Shawn Michaels.
I wouldn't hold my breath. I wouldn't hold my breath. But
I won't hold my breath.
But the
either.
Daniel Bryan thing, they have the Kane connection.
Yeah,
tag team with Kane.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, realistically, probably get like the Fiend squad. Like, but I think
Baron Corbin,
Elias.
I think Taker goes out on his back on Sunday.
I would hope so, but I mean, depends what they do with angle.
Which I think will piss fans off.
Yeah,
yeah,
they want to see him win.
Yeah.
But I get it. He wants to put over a guy. Maybe I don't. It's weird.
Or maybe it's just a gold watch retirement ceremony thing, and that's fine too.
I'm cool with that as well.
Maybe there's not an angle, and I'm fine with that.
A kick in the butt. A computer took your job, Daddy. That's how it's at. That's how it's at.
Bray Wyatt took your job, Daddy.
Bray Wyatt took your job, Daddy.
I'm wearing my new Bray Wyatt.
That's
shirt
how it's at.
That came in my WWE Slam crate.
Oh, cool.
Fucking 9 months old.
Yeah. Well, what if you would have got some that left? You get an FDR, you get a Revival shirt.
I thought I was going to.
And a Dean Ambrose shirt.
I'll put it this way. You know what the theme of this crate is? Elimination Chamber.
Oh, well, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's February.
Yeah.
Well, they should just wait it, and we're almost at it again.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Oh, my.
But let's get into this week in wrestling history, Brian.
And this is all going to be very related to Survivor Series. Survivor Series is this weekend, and we have some anniversaries of Survivor Series here. The first one, we're going to go way back here. We're going back 25 years to the day, November 19th, 1995. And this was a Survivor Series where Bret Hart won the WWF title for the third time, beating Diesel to end Diesel's just about year-long reign. I think he was like 359 days or something like that. It was just short of a year. And it was the longest title reign in a long time. But it never really caught fire. I personally think they tried to fit a square peg in a round hole. They tried to make Diesel, Kevin Nash, like the smile and shake hands, kiss babies. And that's not him. Yeah. He would have had to been like a cool baby face, which they weren't doing quite yet. He didn't have any real good challengers. He was wrestling like Mabel and Bob Backlund and Jeff Jarrett. And as we brought up, I don't know if it was the last show or the show before that or anything, but I know we had brought up at some point the in your house before this was when he wrestled the British Bulldog in Canada, and at the end Vince just throws his headset down as like pathetic or something like that, or just like chewing them out in front of everybody. So the month after that, lo and behold, he's wrestling Bret Hart for the title. At the end of the match, Bret Hart, very rare for the time, this would have been the first time they really did this in WWF, Bret Hart goes through a table. He gets like shot off the apron through a table. Diesel brings him in, and Bret Hart's just acting like he's dead. He can't even pick him up for the jackknife. He's dead weight. But when he finally picks him up, Bret Hart just rolls him up 1, 2, 3, and Diesel just snaps afterward. He power bombs Bret 2 more times. He beats up the referees.
Isn't that when Bret was he didn't want to take the jackknife?
No,
Really?
Bret.
Like, wasn't there an issue though where he said he was opposed to it at first, where he didn't want to take the jackknife?
Not that I know of.
I thought that was. I thought that was one.
I don't know anything on.
They had wrestled a few times before, and he definitely took the jackknife.
Okay, I thought there was some story where
maybe it's somebody else. I know some guys didn't like it because he would just like he would pick you up and just kind of drop it.
Yeah, Kevin. I guess Kevin Nash said in one of the shoot videos where he's like,
maybe,
Bret,
yeah. I know Big Show didn't like take it because he dropped him on his head the one time.
Yeah.
But so this was kind of Diesel turning. They made him kind of a tweener for a month or two, and they just went full blown heel when he turned on Michaels. But yeah, so this was the end of the Diesel experiment as your babyface world champion. He'll be gone about 6 months after this. And this was the to the point, and business is really down in 1995. This is the lowest buy rate in Survivor Series history. It was about anywhere between 128,000, 179,000 buys. And it's funny because the big thing we're going to be talking about later is ECW November to Remember 1995. This was the night after that. So this is one day after that show. And in a dark match, the Smoking Guns beat Public Enemy, who wrestled on November to Remember.
And Joey Styles says they're getting offers for WCW and WWE. Well, WWF at the time.
Yeah, and I was watching. I was like, "There's no way they are." Yeah, they were terrible.
No, they were hot though. They were unless you were in the moment, you don't understand how hot they were.
Yeah, they were
bad.
But then they quickly find out when they got to WWE and WCW. Like, ooh,
dude, I was watching that and I was like, "Yikes!"
We'll get there. Yeah, even I was like, "This is a bad show."
That's why people are like, "Oh my god, the new wrestling is so bad." It's like, I would take the new stuff.
So I would watch this over Raw. I know we'll get there.
Wow.
I think Raw. I think WWE right now, 2020 is the worst it's ever been ever. Even 94, 95 when it was real bad. Even when Triple H was world champion for 2007 or whenever that was.
Yeah.
Right now it's fucking awful. But I mean, there's good stuff, but it's for the most part it's fucking awful. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Elsewhere on this show, the other matches on this show, this might have been the last. I think this was the last year where you had the names for teams in some of the matches.
Yeah, I love to bring that back.
So we're gonna make so they're not very inventive though, and there's only 2 matches where they had them. You had the Body Donnas, which was Skip and Zip, and Rad Radford, who was like their lackey, and the freshly heel turned 1, 2, 3 kid. They beat the Underdogs, which was Marty Jannetty, Hakushi, Barry Horowitz, and Bob Sparkplug Holly.
I forgot Hakushi turned face for like the end of his run.
Yeah, he because I think it was him and Barry Horowitz against the Body Donnas. And 1, 2, 3 kid had just turned heel. I don't even know if he was linked up with DiBiase yet. He was the sole survivor there.
Wow.
And
There's some guys that work in there, but ew.
And here's a little bit of a lot of the people in this match. This is the only time they ever wrestled in WWE. You had the women's match. It was Bertha Faye, Aja Kong,
Wow.
Tomoko Watanabe, and Lioness Asuka. If you ever wondered where Asuka in WWE now got her name, it was from Lioness Asuka.
Okay.
And they beat Alundra Blaze, also known as Medusa, Kyoko Inoue, Saki Hasagawa, and Shaparita Asari. And this was basically the beginning of the end for the women's division at this time in WWE until I came back with like Sable and Jacqueline and all those people.
Yeah.
And the heel team won. Aja Kong was the sole survivor, and it seemed like they were building up to her against Alundra Blaze. And Aja Kong is a legend. She is one of the all-time great women's wrestlers, period.
Her prime, too.
And this is her in her prime, and she was a badass. One of the lines in her entrance music was, "God made the devil just for fun." It was something like, when he got serious, he made Aja Kong. Like, that's how much of a badass she was.
That's an awesome lyric.
Yeah, but they did wound up not going with it, and then a few weeks after this, Alundra Blaze is on Nitro dropping the women's title in a trash can.
I heard this is where the big boys play.
Yeah. Trying to share the
with that terrible haircut.
All right. I was sharing the chat to
okay.
to our pages.
And then another send off here. You had Goldust. He's relatively new at this point. He beat Bam Bam Bigelow, and this was Bam Bam's last match in WWF.
Yeah, then he was ECW and really turned it around.
Yeah,
absolutely. Won the TV title. Well, that was way later with Taz, because Taz was just turning heel at this point. And and it's funny, right before he went to WCW, like a few weeks before that, I saw him at a show on the boardwalk in Wildwood, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I don't have the picture anywhere, but that was the first time I was ever in a wrestling ring. I was like, it would have been like, I think he went to WCW like 98. So it would have been like 15. And it was me and Bam Bam in the ring, in this raggedy ring and on a pier in the Jersey Shore.
That's awesome.
And then the other match where they had named teams, the Darkside, The Undertaker and his buddies. What a team this is. It's The Undertaker, Fatu, Savio Vega, and Henry Godwin. So it's Undertaker and all his backstage friends, all the Bone Street Crew people.
That's funny. Funny Godfather was it?
I think he might have been in between gimmicks. I don't think Kama was around at this point, or maybe if he was a heel. And I don't think the Nation of Domination was around yet.
No,
but they beat the Royals, King Mabel, Jerry Lawler, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Jerry Lawler's personal dentist, Dr. Isaac Yankum. So this is big. This is the first time on pay-per-view that the Undertaker and Kane are in a ring together.
Yeah. Wow.
And the Undertaker's team,
Brian Lee.
Brian Lee.
Yeah.
He was on the ECW show.
Was he?
No, I
not
lied.
that one. No, not
I
that one.
Clash of Champions.
Tony, were you watching when they did DOA and they had all the biker guys?
Yes,
he was one of them. He was Chains, yeah.
Crush was Crush, and then they had 8-Ball and Skull with their Harris.
I just remember when I was the Taker versus Taker. Was that Survivor Series?
That was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah. Gray versus purple.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time Undertaker had purple.
Yeah.
This match here, this is when because Undertaker was injured. This is when either Mabel or Yokozuna had leg dropped him. They broke his face. He broke his orbital bone. This was when he came back and he had the Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a toy of that in Close in the Dark. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mario in the chat just mentioned about the Hot Ones episode. Yeah, we were just talking about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think Tony's the only one of us that watched it so far, though.
Yeah,
I saw that he did it, but I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I checked it out. It was really, really good. He gets emotional at the end talking about his career, which is kind of, like I said, it's very interesting to see him out and about and doing things and talking, because it's something that you're not used to seeing to that. But it was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. And then the other match they had besides the main event here was the Wildcard Match. This is when they would take like the heels and faces, baby faces would be on like the same teams. They just basically acted like they did a random thing. And this was Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, British Bulldog, and Sid beating Yokozuna, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon, and Dean Douglas. Only Sid was eliminated on the winning team, but he was eliminated by Razor. This was Sean's first match back after he got beat up by the guys in Syracuse. And then the next night was when he wrestled Owen Hart, and he took the Enziguri, and then he collapsed.
Yeah.
And they acted like Sean might never wrestle again. They did the "tell me a lie" thing, and then he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Never came back.
And he never wrestled again. What a career he could have had. Never became world champion.
That should be who do you think had more like comebacks and like leave and come back? I mean, Sean's got to be up there. Flair's up there.
It's a guy who, it's Terry Funk.
Yeah,
it's literally called when you quit and then you come right back. It's called a Terry Funk retirement.
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. When did he wrestled as late as what, like 2016, 2017, something like that?
He still did a moonsault.
Yeah. I think the first time he retired was like 1982.
Yeah, and then he retired again for an 89, and they came back to wrestle Flair, and they had the great feud match.
Because he retired in Japan, he did the forever.
Yeah, I agree, Mario. It's crazy. He's pulling the curtain back.
He retired in 1982, and then continued to wrestle my entire life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And even that thing we're talking about, Beyond the Mat, that was supposed to be his retirement show. It was down in Amarillo, Texas. And they brought Bret in, and Bret was the WWF champion at the time, and it was supposed to be Funk against Bret for the title, and they had Dennis Stamp in the referee as the referee because he wasn't booked, so he wasn't going to go to the show. And that was supposed to be his retirement match, and then he became the ECW champion after that. Yeah, and they became Chainsaw Charlie after that.
And he went to WCW, and he was hardcore champion.
Here's another quick one while we have Mario in the chat from PA Pile Driver. They said your favorite Jericho era.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you guys are big fans of the conspiracy theory Jericho and WCW.
WCW Cruiserweight Champion Jericho is still my favorite. Loved it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them were saying the list. I like the list Jericho.
List Jericho has to be near the top.
Yeah, that's high up there.
And then current.
I like WWE debut Jericho. Like the whiny Jericho, where he's like the Ayatollah rock and roller, like the late WCW, early WWE.
He's pretty much the same character as he was at WCW.
Yeah.
Same people names wrong and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Jericho the most when he's being a pompous heel. I think a pompous heel is just kind of throwing some comedy in there.
Yeah.
Whenever he's doing that, that's my favorite Jericho.
My favorite was when he had short hair and he was wearing the suits and talking slow.
Like the Bon Jovi Jericho.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah. My least favorite Jericho is when he did a singing musical number with MJF.
Oh God,
that was pretty bad. That was a little too much comedy.
Yeah, that was my least favorite Jericho. It's hard to find my least favorite Jericho because he's like one of my favorites, but
or in the early days of Fozzy when he was trying to do the thing where like he wouldn't acknowledge that he was Chris Jericho, he was Moongoose McQueen.
Different gimmick.
Yeah, crazy. All right, let's get back to the history.
So another one, and this would have been 19 years ago yesterday, November 18th, 2001. It was Survivor Series again. This was the end of the invasion. This would have been 450,000 pay-per-view buys, easy for me to say, way higher than the 1995 edition. And this was where the invasion angle came to an end. Got put out of his misery, is a better way to say it. So basically, they had matches where they unified all the titles. The last match was the only regular 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. It was Team Alliance, which was ECW and WCW against Team WWF, and the losing team was done. And so the only match that didn't happen, which was X-Pac and Tajiri, were supposed to unify the Cruiserweight title and the Light Heavyweight title. But legit injury to X-Pac, that match got canceled. The Light Heavyweight title got retired, and the WCW Cruiserweight title just became the WWF Cruiserweight title. This is when they had Sunday Night Heat before the shows, and your Heat match was Raven, Lance Storm, and Just Incredible, which they didn't really team a lot. The Impact players didn't really team a lot in WWE, but here they were with Raven beating Albert, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Spike Dudley.
Spike just got fucking abused. How is that? How that
Not
guy?
so much in WWE. Kind of had it easier.
They can keep the shit.
Well, it was not like ECW.
Yeah. I mean, when he got a powerbomb and his legs hit the top rope and he hit it like he didn't hit the table, but just,
that was ECW. Yeah,
that was WWF.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Yeah,
it was Mike Awesome.
That was a WWF thing where they picked him up and they went to throw him over the top rope towards the ramp.
I thought it was Mike Awesome.
No, I think it still was Mike Awesome, but that was in WWE.
No, it wasn't. That was ECW.
Mike Awesome just beat the hell out of him.
Because Mike Awesome never wrestled.
It was
I
two
think
tag team
he
guys that
wrestled
did it.
once or twice in WWE. Was it Chronic?
It might have been Chronic. I forget, but someone tried to powerbomb over the top rope, and his heels caught the top rope, and he missed the table, and just the back of his head hit the side of the table.
Oh, boy.
I could be wrong, but I think Mike Awesome was the first WCW guy to win a title in WWE. I think he, like one of the early times they brought those guys in, he won the hardcore title.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. He was only there like not even a month.
Yeah, he wasn't there long at all.
Threw him into the front row of the crowd.
Yeah. That beat the shit ass.
Crazy as fuck. It's crazy he still walks. Like,
I know.
Like he's not paralyzed. It's insane.
Oh, man, the WWE dropped the ball with Mike Awesome.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Well, we did say, real quick, I know this is late in the news thing, but we did talk, like, we don't really talk politics and stuff here, but we did say that interesting thing with politics coming up is if the Democrats do win and they put certain people in power, we have to literally wait to see
Andrew Yang,
if Biden appoints.
I doubt Andrew Yang is going to be like labor secretary or anything. The more kind of notable thing is that a lot of the things that Zelina Vega is out there tweeting after SAG is kind of piggybacking on it, so they're looking in the pro wrestling now.
Yeah, pro wrestling and UFC are big targets of this. Like, because
after SAG would be more wrestling because they're not like they're treating it more as like they're actors as opposed to UFC where they're athletes. Not saying that to disparage wrestling. Like,
yeah, but the thing I was reading with WWF and UFC, more or less UFC, is NFL I think is 47% of the what the company makes go to the players. NBA I believe is 50. MLB is like as close to 50 as you can get, and the UFC is like 13%.
Yeah, I think WWE's
well, not to get overly political, but that's what happens when you have a union.
Yeah. It's like wowzer, like 13 and 5%. And they just rake in the money and just kind of use them.
And we got fired a couple people.
Yeah,
because we just
business is bad today. We have to let I mean, I'm not a political guy, but it would be interesting to see if people came in power and actually made these companies pay these athletes what they deserve.
Or let them truly be independent contractors and you wrestle on Raw and then wrestle on AEW.
Health insurance.
Yeah.
Like health insurance. What? Like, I don't know. All right, I'm sorry. Let's get back to
2001 Survivor Series. Elsewhere on this show, you had Christian beating Al Snow to retain the European title. You had the WCW United States Champion Edge, beat the WWF Intercontinental Champion Test.
There was way too many belts this time.
Yeah,
way.
And these are unifying because after this, the US title went away until they brought it back when they did like the split titles to split shows. The WCW Tag Champions, the Dudley Boys, beat the WWE Tag Champions, the Hardy Boys. Test won the Immunity Battle Royal, which protected him from being fired for a year. At this point, the women's title had been gone since this was November, obviously. It had been gone since May when Chyna was the women's champion and left the company. So they did a six-way match for the vacant title where Trish beat Lita, Jacqueline, Molly, Jazz, and Ivory to win the title. And then in your main event, Team WWF, which was The Rock, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, Kane, and The Big Show. Why was The Big Show on Team WWF? He was a WCW guy. Beat the Alliance, Austin, Kurt Angle, who was never in WCW, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and he was in ECW the one time when they almost set the building on fire. And Shane McMahon. So the Alliance loses. Jericho turns heel on The Rock during the match. Angle turns on Team Alliance because he was a mole sent there by Vince, but he stays a heel because, and this jumps into the next night, November 19th, 2001, 19 years ago today, a very memorable Raw. This was the Raw right after that Survivor Series. Team WWF has beaten WCW and ECW. They have ended the invasion right at the very beginning of the show. Paul Heyman is fired from his job on commentary. He'd been on commentary because Jerry Lawler got fired for sticking up for his wife when she got fired, and then his wife dumped him.
Yeah. Oh, yikes.
Yeah, she gets fired, and he's like, well, if she's gone, I'm gone. And then they fire him, too. And then, like, 2 months later, she dumped him.
Not Ernest Miller, the cat.
Yeah. She was cute, too.
She was cute.
Yeah.
Stacey Carter. Met her one time.
Didn't she dye her hair, like, bright orange, or she wear a wig or something?
When she was with Chyna, she was like China's servant, for lack of a better term.
And then she dyed her hair like bright green.
Well, she wore the black wig for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember having to have like green hair or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I remember the black wig.
I just remember she wore a bright colored wig one time, and then in all the No Mercy game, one of her characters.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I remember the cap more for something she didn't wear one time.
Oh,
yeah, didn't she do like the Jello match? And
I believe that's No Mercy.
It was a pool. It was a pool match. It was an Armageddon, I think, and she very infamously removed her top after the match.
Yeah. Everyone was probably like, yes,
puppies. Yeah, her and Molly Holly. I was big fans.
Oh,
of
really?
Back in the
Wow.
day.
Molly
Yeah,
Holly, that just surprises me. Nothing against her. Just,
she's a little thick. Look, a little thicky
bit.
thick in the bottom.
I don't like that short hairdo that she had. I don't know if she had that at that point.
Yeah. I always thought she was, and then obviously, then my whole life changed when I see Mickie James.
Really?
Yeah, I love Mickie James. I thought she was hot.
Mickie did not move my needle at all.
Yeah, she cranked mine,
especially not when Trish Stratus is there.
So, I mean, but I felt like everybody was like that. Trish was like, well, first off, my first girl was Marlena.
Okay, well, Marlena, that's hot.
Yeah. I don't know. Marlena was just like that girl. Like it was trouble. Like that was
hot in WCW.
It was like the devil in a dress.
Alexandra York.
With her laptop, she would hit people with. The laptop always was supposed to have the secret to winning the match, and the secret always tended to be just hit the guy with the laptop.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't want to sound sexist. Drew McIntyre is a stud right now. Too.
Oh yeah, welcome guys in wrestling.
My wife says she my wife likes to read, and she reads.
Is that the fantasy romance novel guy?
She's like, he's literally the guy you read about in those.
Yeah, he's on the cover with his hair blowing.
He rides in on a horse.
Yeah, no shirt.
Yeah, no shirt. Yeah, that's literally Drew McIntyre for my wife. She's gonna be in heaven this Sunday. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns.
Oh boy,
yeah, that's about as close as you're gonna see for. She might have to go in watch that another room.
Break.
Yeah, take a $5.
I gotta go. I'm getting
I guess I have to be careful when I talk shit on her now because now that the shows are staggered.
Yeah,
she can listen to everyone.
Yeah. Oh boy,
she comes home from work like, you said this.
She's sleeping.
You'll be surprised. Yeah. So yeah. All right, it gets back to the.
Yeah, on this Raw, Vince is just acting increasingly heelish through the night. Throughout the invasion, Vince is a babyface, and they realize, yeah, maybe Steve Austin should be a babyface and Vince should be a heel. So they just kind of went back into what people wanted. This was the beginning of the Kiss My Ass Club. William Regal, formerly the commissioner of the Alliance, is the first member. He saves his job by literally kissing Vince's ass. And Shane and Stephanie are fired because they were the owners.
Tricks.
Let's get do tricks, pal.
That shirt should come out. The Kiss My Ass Club.
Well, this was before PG.
Yeah.
And they were Shane and Stephanie were fired. Stephanie would come back in like 2 months with Triple H when he came back, but Shane actually was gone pretty much for 2 years until he did the feud with Bischoff. And the big thing they say is that when Shane and Stephanie did this whole WCW, ECW thing, that they sold their WWE stock to a consortium. And at the very end of the show, when it's like Vince is just running roughshod on everything and he's in total control, you hear some very familiar music and you find out the consortium is Ric Flair. And this is Ric Flair's first appearance in WWF since early 1993 when he lost to Mr. Perfect in a Loser Leaves Town match.
Yeah.
I'm the champ. All right. Not yet, but I'm the president of the United States of America.
I remember at this one, he's like, we're kiss stealing, wheeling dealing partners. He just hugs Vince and Vince is all freaking out. And they must have been running late because that's when Vince like tugs his ear, like, come on, get Austin out here.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
And then the other matches on this show, you had Trish Stratus beat Lita to retain the women's title. The Dudleys beat RVD in a handicap tables match. The Rock beat Kurt Angle to retain what was now the World Heavyweight title because going into this, The Rock was a WCW champion, and now it's just the World Heavyweight title. Kane beat Chris Jericho by DQ, and William Regal beat Taz in 53 seconds.
Oh, poor Taz.
And then just a few birthdays here from the last week or so. We did Jericho's not going to be on here because Jericho was actually the week before. And so a week ago today, the 12th, was the 52nd birthday of Disco Inferno.
Oh.
And then we had a big birthday on Friday last week. Friday the 13th was a big birthday. 44 years old. And kind of guy that only comes around once every 100 years. The Ace.
Tanahashi. Wow.
Yeah.
44. He still looks great. Still relevant.
Yeah. Somebody who could probably still wrestle if she wanted to, but she's a trainer now. Was an excellent wrestler. Sarah Del Rey, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny they never give her like a little shot in NXT.
Yeah.
Just thought something.
She was so good. She was such a good wrestler. And so then this past Saturday, the 14th, was the 55th birthday of L.A. Park, still wrestling, still going. Speaking of NXT trainers, it was the 40th birthday of the head coach, Albert. Matt Bloom. I think it's just Matt Bloom now. And the 34th birthday of Kalisto.
Wow. I was shocked it's still on the roster.
I actually, in my last Pro Wrestling Loot, got a Kalisto autograph.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Samurai Del Sol, as his name was in the Indies.
Or no, that was was a Pro Wrestling Crate? Was
yeah,
Kalisto?
this one, yeah, I forget.
Yeah, it was Kalisto in that one. The other one was Rey Mysterio.
Oh, wow.
It's a Lucha Month.
The autograph in this one's pretty good too.
And then I usually don't include people who have passed away on the birthdays, but I had to make a special exception here because this past Sunday, the 15th, would have been the 60th birthday of probably my all-time favorite wrestler, Randy Savage.
Oh, how about it?
Yeah, I agree. My favorite as well. Oh, that was the autograph this month.
Sabu.
Sabu's
Randy Savage. Oh, Sabu.
The T-shirt. I'll go through it real quick. We're gonna do a video, but the T-shirt is Mr. Technical.
Mr. Technical.
Barry Horowitz.
Oh, okay. Barry Horowitz. Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back for Barry Horowitz. He won one match on a pay-per-view.
You gotta wear those with green suspenders.
Yeah.
Brian Pillman Jr. is the pin, and then the toy is Robert Ego Anthony.
Okay. He's in AEW for a little bit.
Okay.
Fear Factory has a crazy outfit on. I don't know.
He looks like a
Japanese guy,
like a Japanese
anime
guy, kaiju.
Yeah.
But he was also Egotistico Fantastico in CZW.
Yeah, that's the character then.
Yeah, we'll do an unboxing later for that one.
And then
go ahead, birthdays.
Also on Sunday, speaking of guys who are in AEW every now and then, Shima, who is training those guys from China. I forget the name of the thing.
Yeah, OWE.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And the 26th birthday, that's about 1 year for every knee injury. Tegan Knox birthday also on Sunday.
Yeah, poor girl.
Yeah, she can't.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I
make a joke, but it's a shame.
I like her, but maybe wrestling's not.
Yeah.
I mean, she's good, but three torn ACLs. Oh man, poor girl.
Yeah, that's. Whew. And then no real birthdays for today or yesterday. Tuesday the 17th, Miko Satomura was 41. And if I'm mentioning Macho Man, I got to mention that if she were alive today, today would have been the 60th birthday of Miss Elizabeth.
Oh,
unfortunate.
Yeah, Elizabeth Hewlett.
She took a ride on the what's it, Lex Luger?
The Lex Express.
The Lex Express, and that was it for her.
Elizabeth, will you marry me?
And then they're going through their real life divorce at the time.
I think the divorce was like a few months after that, pretty much.
Yeah, it was still a fresh wound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else birthday wise?
No, that was it. I didn't look for. I should have went like a week out, but no, those are the ones.
Yeah,
and I don't have the network of friends of local indie wrestlers that you and Andy have, so I'm not gonna be able to help you with those.
Nola Katana today.
20
nice. Years old. Made his debut at PPW versus Andy Header.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, made his PPW debut versus you. Once again, happy birthday to the PA Apologizer podcast for 1 year of podcasting. Us as well for 2 years of podcasting. And then so that there's two birthdays there.
And a birthday 2 days ago on the 17th to the biggest heel in wrestling in 2020. Tuesday was the first birthday of COVID-19.
Oh, wow.
The first case was on November 17th, 2019.
I thought you were going Killing because he opened a portal, but that's the worst. That was even worse than the portal.
COVID-19.
Yeah. I'll blow you away.
I'll blow you away with the window.
we actually were watching that.
I love that.
Yeah, that pastor cracks me up.
The music video. COVID-19.
Trying to see who else I have.
How the hell do you bring up birthdays?
I just type in birthdays and they pop up.
Oh, okay.
Who else we got?
Upcoming birthday.
Yeah, anybody in the next 3 weeks, since that's going to be, we'll be back when? It looks like
December
11th.
Yeah,
December 11th.
DB Craft, Andrew, tomorrow, the 20th. I think a lot of these we said last episode, but
For some reason,
Ian Bush will be Saturday, the 21st.
Okay, back in Outbreak.
Allegedly the number one contender, but we know it's not real.
Disputed number one contenders in Outbreak. Right?
Very disputed. Very disputed.
Listen, Ian, I love you. You're a nice guy, but you're coming off a loss.
Guy from Backbreakers, Dante Dio. His birthday is tomorrow, November 20th. I'm going through here. I don't believe.
David Hetfield. Do you know him?
Yeah, I believe he had a cop gimmick at LCW.
Yep. Who else we got here? Just trying to go through, see who else we have.
Ian
if you guys know
Cross.
any that we're missing, put them in the chat as well. See, I have a lot of people who add me that I've never seen wrestle.
Oh, so you can't. Yeah,
and I don't know who who's where. Yeah.
Nobody really. Just a couple guys retired. And they're a guy that doesn't.
Kyle Payne, Monday the 30th from the Payne Bros from PPW. Or no, I mean Outbreak.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got on my end.
Nothing really here.
All right. Well, let's get into our main topic of the night. If you guys got the chance to watch along with us and you have some takes on it, let us know what you think, because now we're getting into today's topic, which is November to Remember 1995. So, Brian.
And if you don't watch ECW November to Remember, it will be a forget. You won't forget. Or whatever he said.
You have the card and stuff pulled up?
Yeah, I have everything pulled up. Just as a general thing, just to kind of set this up, it's true. Some things should be left in the past.
Yeah, but here, I want to say this right now. There is good ECW shows out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
After 96, when they started getting like big, their shows had much better structure, and it was like, match. There was promos, but it wasn't the wild
like
west that this show was.
A match like in a different arena that was spliced in.
Yeah, this was obviously two shows put together. But I mean, like, yeah, it was like if you watch like from when the pay-per-view started, they're good. Their shows flow so much better.
So we were watching this pay-per-view. I was watching it, and I actually messaged the group chat, and I said, "Why the fuck did we pick this?" I was like, this is not easy to watch.
It is a hard watch. It's a very hard watch.
ECW, their TV show was edited so well, and using like real music made it so much better. And they would clip the hell out of the matches, so you didn't have to watch a 15-minute Public Enemy match.
Yeah,
some of these guys look like they were drunk and they were just bouncing.
Well, one of them I can guarantee was drunk, 100%.
Well, some might have been high.
Yeah.
I just wish, like, man, if I was around back then, I could have totally been at ECW.
Yeah.
I could have been El Puerto Ricano.
You know who someone I said I put over really heavily, saying I was a huge fan of, and then I watched the match with him in it, and I was like, man,
Steve Richards?
Psychosis.
Oh, well. I thought I was like, this is gonna be a good one. I'm like, this one's not good.
Did not realize how huge.
I thought it was. I think I got this confused with the Hoovy match. Was the Hoovy match the one where they go outside and they do the Hurricane Rana off the car?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or there was like a 2 out of 3 falls match. There was a Ray match in ECW that was really good. This one was okay, but it wasn't this one.
Yeah, they had they had a couple of matches in ECW, and some were pretty good. So Psychosis and Rim Zero.
So November to Remember 1995 was the third November to Remember in professional wrestling event produced by Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW. This event took place on November 19th, 1995 in the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
The corner of Swanson, Rittner, and South Philly, baby.
This event marked the return of Sabu, and ECW had a failed stint in the World Championship Wrestling, WCW, and then ECW debut of the Blue Meanie.
Sabu is on the second Nitro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there was 9 professional wrestling matches that were contested at the event.
Were they really professional?
Yeah. And I believe there was a dark match too. But
oh my, who was on that?
I don't know. I lost it.
Let me see if Wikipedia has it.
I don't know if we can call Donnie Allen against the Broad Street Bully a match per se.
I think these two guys look like the biggest jobbers you could possibly get.
Here's the thing with the Broad Street Bully. He was, I think he was out in the ringside taking pictures later. That Broad Street Bully was Tony Stetson, and he was actually a pretty big star in TWA, which was basically the forerunner of ECW. It's like the company that kind of became ECW. I don't want to go too far into this, but TWA was run by this guy, Joel Goodhart, who was like a finance guy. And he had a radio show on the weekend in Philly, and he would do these big shows, like huge shows, like they get like 2,000 people. They would bring in like Cactus Jack, Buddy Landell, Jerry Lawler, Eddie Gilbert. They were bringing all these big names. They would do really well. They would run the Civic Center, which is where WCW ran. And he was doing this thing where he was going to have Buddy Rogers, who was like 71 years old or something like that, come out of retirement. And they're going to do the Battle of the Nature Boys, Buddy Rogers against Buddy Landel, because I think Buddy Landel was their champion at the time. And I guess like 2 weeks before the show, they ran out of money and they canceled the show. They canceled their radio show. Joel Goodhart was out of wrestling. He actually came back for a little bit in like 2015, something like that, as a character. But I believe, and I could be wrong on this is just the way I heard it, I believe that when he just said with like, I think it was like the weekend or a day or two before the show or a week before the show, yep, show's canceled, and people didn't get their money back. That is why now promoters in Pennsylvania have to put up that $10,000 bond.
Yeah, I got something.
Yikes.
And so he was the main promoter for TWA. One of his like partners, like we know with PPW, there's a lot of partners that kind of run the whole show. TWA was similar, and one of the partners was Todd Gordon, who was wrestling on the show, unfortunately. And Todd Gordon ran and I believe still runs a pawn shop in Philly, and he started ECW and just kind of picking up where TWA left off. Tony Stetson was a big star there. He was a star in early ECW. He was like a tag champion with Johnny Hotbody, I think, and somebody else maybe. But yeah, at this point, he's the Broad Street Bully, and he's just a opening match guy. And Donnie Allen,
Flyers jersey.
yeah. And did you notice Donnie Allen on the back of his trunk or the back of his tights? It said 499.
No,
it was it said 499. If you look back at this match, it was because he was ranked 499 in the PWI 500.
That's pretty good.
Shit. While you guys are talking,
Yeah, you got the tag team one, which
the tag team 50, I think.
Came up, but he said he got the women's one. Anyway, I don't remember these job guys. I know Donnie Allen was around for a while. Wasn't he? Did he even never give him? I'm gonna click on him. Did he even never give him? I don't know. That's Louis Dangerously, I'm thinking.
Well, funny you bring him up because before this match, you have the opening ceremonies for the November to Remember. And this was when Bubba Ray Dudley was doing the stuttering gimmick where he would just go, "My name is buh, buh," and then Big Dick Dudley would just hit him with his crutch. You go, "My name is Bubba Ray Dudley."
Yeah,
and so
what's your name? Because they get it back because he couldn't say his name.
And it was so over. Like they loved it. They loved it. So he comes out, and I remember them advertising this, and they even mentioned on the show he was going to do the opening ceremonies for November to Remember. And when they mentioned that, they said like leading up to the show, 1 hour time limit strictly enforced. Because he could be doing this for an hour if he stutters too much.
Yeah, so the show starts off with 2 squash matches.
Yeah, maybe even 3.
Yeah. So Bubba does this whole big introduction. At the very end, he goes, "Let's get ready to," which is a joke in and of itself because Michael Buffer will sue you if you actually say it.
Yeah.
He was very known for doing that. And then they hit him in the back and he just goes, "Oh, fuck it." And he just beats up both guys and pins the Broad Street Bully after a Bubba bomb. Yeah,
the first of many power bombs. I was saying the power bomb was so over 95.
Yeah. Power bombs are like the dive to the rope right now.
Yeah.
Suicide dive, like 13 every day.
So
it was like a thigh slap move back then.
I was like, enough power bombs. Fuck.
And these guys look like they couldn't even do a push-up, let alone a power bomb.
And Bubba Ray would do that thing where he would like pick you up and he'd like, "Buh, buh, buh."
I mean,
Bubba bomb.
Bubba was very good. Like he was amazing. But like the rest of that
and
squad,
Devon didn't exist yet.
Devon and
not.
Let's run through the Dudleys here, because you had Sign Guy Dudley, who became Louis Dangerously, and he was there. And apparently, I think that was a rib because there's even a guy. There's always a guy in the front row near Hat Guy. And he had a giant sign. He's like the only original sign guy or something like that. Apparently, the Sign Guy Dudley thing became a big thing because I guess he got like the rumors like he got an ego or something. So like, let's just have a Sign Guy in the Dudleys. And then you had
like you could see Lantern Fan, you could see his buddy that was Transformer guy, you could see Hack Guy, Moore guy was there. Like they were all there. Hack Guy's buddy. I was like, wow, there's all the fans.
I did try to have a guest for tonight come hang out with us, but I guess with things going on, he wasn't able to make it. And I think the COVID thing is kind of tough for him right now, but Jeff was going to come tonight because that's an ECW type thing. And he was there for all of it.
We might have been there for this show.
He might have been.
He could have been, And then you had Dances with Dudley, who was the Native American Dudley, even though he would always speak Spanish. That was his thing.
I mean, his real name was Adolfo Bermudez.
Yeah, he was Latin, but he played. I guess it was like a thing that like people who play Native Americans are very rarely Native American in wrestling. Yeah. You had Big Dick Dudley, who was the mean one. You had Chubby Dudley, who he I don't think he wrestled in ECW. He was only there for a little bit. He actually promoted another thing. I went to a bunch of their shows right after ECW closed, and
he was eating like a bag of chips the whole time.
Yeah.
Spike wasn't there, was he?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
In fact, I went to an ECW show near my school right before this, and I remember Chubby Dudley offering me a chip out of his bag of chips at that show. It was Bubba and Dances with Dudley against Public Enemy at that show.
Wow.
And then I think they were the only Dudleys, Big Dick Dudley, because I think there was the original. It was like there was Dudley, but I think he was gone by that this point. There was Little Snot Dudley. I think he was gone at this point. But yeah, anyway, that's what happened there. Bubba beat them both up and got the pin. And then they did a quick thing where Sabu came back, like Paul Heyman came out, Paulie Dangerously came out, they dim the lights, they come back on, Sabu was there.
He's not clear to go here though. They just showed him at the event.
Well, no, this was all one show. This was all at the ECW arena. I don't know if we said it was two shows. It was all one show.
I felt like it was two spliced together.
And they did a lot of weird editing, but it was all the same show.
Yeah.
But he comes back and this was the first time he had been in ECW since April of that year, because they did this thing where they built up for months. It was like one of the biggest builds they ever did for a show was going to be the three-way dance. It was the first one they're going to do was going to be Public Enemy, the Triple Threat, which was Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit, and Sabu and Taz for the tag titles. But Sabu was getting booked in New Japan at this point, and he no-showed. And Heyman gets in the ring before, like, the beginning of the show. He publicly fires Sabu. He's like, fuck Sabu. You'll never see him in this building again. He's a piece of shit. And for a while, anytime Taz would wrestle, because him and Taz were a tag team, anytime Taz would wrestle, we'd just get fuck Sabu chants.
Yeah.
And then he came back here, and obviously they hug in the ring and everything. And
Taz was cleared to wrestle. So
Taz had a
wrestle.
Yeah, because I think he started wrestling shortly after this. He had a legit neck injury.
Sabu cleared to wrestle because it's not long after this before this is when he broke his neck with Chris Benoit.
No,
right?
that was a couple years.
That was the year before this. Benoit was already in WCW at this point.
Okay.
So Taz he injured his neck in a match in Florida. It was like him and somebody against Scorpio and Dean Malenko, I think. And he like took a spike pile driver, and he had a bad neck for the rest of the way. Like that's why he eventually retired.
He cut an interesting promo here where he's pretty much like, "Oh, you guys sit there and say you hated Sabu, now you love him because he's here. You can all go fuck yourselves."
Yeah, that's a little bit later, yeah.
But yeah, he's a special guest referee here for the Conan and Jason Knight.
Yeah, Jason, the second man on Earth. Jason always sucked.
Now Conan was the guy who wore the mask in WCW then.
Yeah, and then he took it off, and then he was in
Raven's Flock or the Wolfpack. Okay.
Yeah.
Conan was just on AEW this week.
Yeah, Bowdy, Rowdy. Remember that? Yo, let me speak on this.
K-Dog.
Yeah, Conan was really good, and I'm like, this is it. This is all he's going to do. He's just beat up Jason.
Yeah.
Conan was on a lot of steroids at this point. Oh, my goodness.
He was huge.
Yeah. And he gives Jason basically the fucking Razor's Edge powerbomb.
Splash Mountain, yeah.
Isn't there a powerbomb? Yay.
I think Conan, the main reason he was there for this was he was the guy that was responsible for booking the AAA guys.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that struck me weird here is the ring announcer is Gertner.
Yeah,
Joel Gertner.
Spanish. I was impressed.
I think that's why, because they had so many of the AAA guys on the show. Because usually, especially for the ECW arena, Bob Artis was the announcer. Okay. But here it's Joel Gertner.
All right, and then our next match here.
Yeah, I think we spent longer talking about that match than the match was. It was just a power bomb. The next match, the first actual match, I would say, was Stevie Richards against El Puerto Ricano.
So real quick, just start of the pay-per-view, Don Allen and the Broad Street Bully.
Donnie Allen.
1 minute 16 seconds. Oh, God. Bubba Ray and the Broad Street Bully. Pretty much that whole was 57 seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Conan was 14 seconds.
Yeah.
next one here is going to be about a 3 minute, 3 second.
There was
match.
a lot of interviews, and that whole like, oh, they were 14 seconds and stuff. That was like half an hour at least.
Yeah.
And it was dragging. I'm like, oh.
So this match was 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
But then ECW became known for the first match on pay-per-view was always awesome.
Yeah.
It was like this hot match. Like, oh, okay.
Start hot, yeah.
Well, not no 14 seconds.
And the debut of one of my favorite human beings I've ever met in my life.
Porto Volcano.
Yeah. The Blue Meanie. Just a super nice guy. Never had a bad experience with him. Every single time I got to meet him, kind of behind the curtain or, in person, just with nobody around. Just a sweetheart.
Nice guy, yeah.
Super nice guy. I met him I hung out. I was talking to him at an airport, and then we were both flying to Vegas. And then we got to Vegas, and we bumped into each other at Ben and Jerry's.
Wow, that's
and we
crazy.
just were like, I mean, I didn't like bother him or anything, but I was like, hey man, what's going on? He goes, oh, what's up, man? Like, oh, glad to see you made it safe. And I was like, you too. And he was there for a conference. I guess they have that like the company that helps people pay for surgeries and stuff.
Flower Alley.
Yeah, and Shawn Michaels is being inducted, or they have like their own little Hall of Fame or honoree thing.
Yeah,
and
they have a banquet every year. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that banquet was happening the weekend I was in Vegas, and he was the only professional wrestler I've seen the entire time I was there. Yeah.
You probably saw a bunch of old wrestlers you didn't realize you did, because that's mainly like older wrestlers in that thing.
Yeah, but the Blue Meanie was there.
It's funny with El Puerto Ricano, though, because Sabu comes back on the show. When he wasn't in ECW, El Puerto Ricano would wrestle a lot as Ubas. It was Sabu spelled backward.
Yeah, get it?
Yeah.
He was a fake Sabu.
And then his only thing with a major company was he was Babu, who was Tiger Ali Singh's like second, his like manservant, basically.
In WWE.
So this
one was in the biggest cutoff or sleeveless shirt I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like this guy was maybe what, 5'8"? And they gave him an extra large shirt. I'm like, he looks terrible.
So Stevie Richards quickly make dispatches of him.
Power bombs him twice.
Yeah.
Stevie bomb, Stevie kick. I'm like, oh, enough.
Yep.
One of the things I noticed here, I wouldn't have known it was in 1995 because I was like too young to be watching this. I was 12 watching this. Richards, when he first comes out, he's wearing a like he always wore the half shirts. He's wearing this black one on the back and says RSPW sucks, which was this is the very early days of the internet, and ECW really embraced it. They would have like fan conventions and things like that. One was called Cyber Slam. RSPW, before like message boards and things like that, they had news groups like Usenet news groups. They were basically these big long email chains. And RSPW was rec.sport.pro wrestling, like pro-wrestling. And that was like the go-to like thing for wrestling news. And a lot of the early people on the internet, like Bob Ryder, I think was a big thing in RSPW. Scott Keith, who was like a big review guy. A lot of them came out of there. Like that was there wasn't much, and I wasn't online. I didn't get it. I wasn't online for years to this point. But that was like the first big thing in like wrestling online was RSPW.
Is this where Mick comes out, or is this later on?
No,
that was later. But the meanie gives Richards a President's a different half shirt that has a flock of seagulls thing on it,
and that would be a gimmick, wacky shirt.
Yeah, and I always wonder if they got those on the Wildwood Boardwalk. I was talking about how I got my picture of Bam Bam Bigelow in Wildwood. Like every third store down there is like an airbrush shirt place.
Yeah. Jen, welcome to the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. What do you think of the new layout? We're trying something new tonight. We're using a different program, so trying something new. And thank you so much for the share. Obviously, we don't have the things that pop up anymore, so this is me manually clicking on your message to show the chat that you're here. So thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you having you here. Yeah. All right, so let's get to our next.
So this match wasn't awful, I didn't think. It was the Eliminators with Jason as their manager against the Pipples with Francine.
I did not like this match at all. I thought it was all over the place.
Oh, it was spot. There was not a hint of psychology, but
no psychology at all. It's just like we're gonna do moves, and I'm gonna hit you with a dragon suplex. I'm gonna pick you up and then I'm gonna punch you twice in the head. I was like, what the fuck, Cronus? Cronus was not as good as he would get better later. He's always kind of goofy.
This is the Pitbulls, right?
Pitbulls versus Eliminators.
Yeah,
and I forgot Saturn had long hair.
Yeah, it was so weird to see Saturn with hair. So weird.
I realized that was Perry Saturn.
Now the one Pitbull, I don't know which one's 1 and 2. Gary Wolf was the long-haired one. What was the guy, Anthony Colossi or something like
Durrani.
that? Yeah, he died a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I'm actually with Gary Wolf on Facebook, but
really
nice guy. Yeah. This match was just all.
My buddy Jack that I do Murder My Do with, his dad worked with Anthony Durrani at 3CW close for a little bit. They weren't super close, but they were friendly. Yeah.
Someone like hearts the page up there too. I just seen that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Like a little heart up
The
there.
Pitbulls were good, and Eliminators became much better in like
It shows
2
me.
years.
It shows me Jen was our heart.
Oh,
That's
cool.
all.
Thank
That's
you,
so
Jen.
cool. We're still figuring the app out. So when
Yeah.
stuff happens, it entertains.
And Gary Wolf was Pitbull 1.
Okay, Gary. Okay, he was one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
but yeah, I can totally see what Andy's saying. Like, there's no psychology at all, but they did some things that look cool. Like Cronus would do a handspring elbow. They did this thing where they did like that cheerleader backflip where you put your one foot in the guy's hands, and they did it over the ropes.
Yeah.
And Cronus would be like, he wasn't really a character yet, but he'd be like wacky crazy guy. He's always like laughing, kind of like Hugh Morris, but he was a better wrestler than Hugh Morris. He would do the 450 and stuff, so he would get really good then. And so would Saturn. The Pitbulls were good.
Yeah,
But,
they were just brawlers, but they were good at it.
Yeah,
They were like the ECW version of like the LOD.
Kind of, yeah. This match was
The Pitbulls get the win here, and then the
comes out totally fine.
Yeah,
like he's gonna get his ass kicked.
Yep.
and then he just mauled Francine after the match.
Yeah, and Joey Styles goes, he likes women. As you can say,
He likes them a little too much. He just jumps on her in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, now we're at legendary Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis
The Mexican death match.
in the Mexican death match. This was 14 minutes and 47
they didn't
seconds.
explain the rules, but a Mexican death match, when you pin someone, they have 10 seconds to get up.
It's like a last man standing
Yes.
match.
Back then it was called a Texas death match.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I noticed, I don't know if it was just good acting or if I just noticed a botch that Rey Mysterio was actually trying to like hurt. When Psychosis jumps off the top rope and does like the moonsault, he completely misses and lands on Ray's face.
I know, yeah, I seen that. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I think Ray's legit not having a good time
Loopy,
here.
Yeah. And Ray looks so tiny here.
He's so little.
Mhm.
Yeah. You could tell when he hit those WWE steroids.
Psychosis probably like, maybe wearing all white outfit in the ECW arena was not a
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest place back in the day.
Yeah.
At the very end, you see it when they're fighting up in the Eagle's Nest, and Ray does the Rana off the Eagle's Nest to that little platform below it.
Yeah, that was in the intro then for like years then.
Yeah, and then Psychosis, like for the first 3 minutes, was just like, how can I purposely break my own neck by jumping and throwing myself into the turnbuckle and stuff? Like, I was like, how did this guy wrestle his whole life? Like, he just was trying to hurt himself.
I think he's still wrestling. He's not Psychosis anymore, but Nico, I think, is still wrestling.
Jesus, he looked huge. He looked like a monster compared to Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. I think Joey Styles called him Psychosis. So he pronounced everything wrong.
Yeah.
Huda and Conran, I'm like, there's no D in the word.
Wasn't my favorite Psychosis match, but Ray, it was a good watch for Mysterio.
If you want to watch a great Ray Psychosis match, the Bash at the Beach where Hogan turns heel in '96, they have an incredible match.
All right, I'll check that out. Anything else about this match? We'll get to the next one here.
No, just in the very beginning, it was Ray just being the underdog babyface. Psychosis pinned him about 6 times, but he kept getting up. And then, he couldn't answer the 10 count. And you can see, as Andy was saying at the very end, when he takes that Ron and he's on the platform under the Eagle's Nest, the back of his outfit is just so dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, and then after the match, before the next match, Jason comes out again. Jason's all over the show, and he tries to recruit Ray to manage him. And when Ray's like blowing him off, he calls Ray a little bitch, and Ray just starts beating him up. Here come the Eliminators. And here's where you're missing the music, because this generic music hits and the crowd goes nuts. It would have been Frankenstein by Edgar Winter, because here comes Can't Believe Frog Zone 911.
911 comes out of nowhere for the save. He's just saving everybody.
Yeah, and all he would do is come out and choke slam people.
Yeah, that's all he could do, really.
But he was 7 foot tall, just about.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. No, everybody needs to know he was short. It's funny because I was telling I'm going to bring up Jack again, my co-host on Murder My Dude. Because we would always watch ECW because he lived like 4 blocks from the arena at one point. And when you would see 911 in ECW, you'd be like, wow, he's like a bigger Jake Roberts, like the way he looks. He had the mustache, he had the long, like stringy hair. You're like, oh, he looks like he's like a bigger Jake Roberts. And then he went to WCW and he was like Tombstone. And you see him wrestling guys WCW size, you're like, oh, he's like a smaller Jake Roberts.
All right, so our next one here is going to be the ECW World Television Champion, Too Cold Scorpio, which they called Too Fat Scorpio or something.
He had the sign.
And the Sandman.
They were also the tag team champions.
Yes, they were.
And
this match took forever to start.
This was
You want to look up stalling in the definition. What dictionary? I can't say. I'm having a stroke. This is the definition of stalling.
Larry Zbyszko would have been proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accompanied by Woman.
Yes.
They wrestled
Nancy.
Public Enemy.
Woman looked pretty good here. I like bangs, I like dark hair, but I don't like her bangs. Her bangs were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the other big thing with this was whoever got the deciding fall in this match. First of all, Scorpio's TV title was on the line. The tag titles are on the line, and whoever got the winning fall would get a shot at the ECW champion Mikey Whipwreck later in the show.
Yeah, so it's a little convoluted.
Yeah. So just hypothetically, if Rocco Rock would have pinned Scorpio, Public Enemy would have been the tag champions. Rocco Rock would have been the TV champion, and Rocco Rock would have gotten the title shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to win this match?
Yeah.
Even like it's kind of like, well, wouldn't Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge kind of like, well, I kind of want the TV title, so I'm gonna punch my partner here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
ECW.
So
this is another thing too, where this match hurt a lot from not having the real music, especially with the entrance, because you don't get Enter Sandman, you don't get Aini Kamosi with Public Enemy. Half the reason they were so over was people like just waving their hands in the air to the music.
Yeah.
And then Too Cold Scorpio. They should have edited his WCW music in.
That man had he was smuggling something in his trunk though.
Oh, he has a reputation.
Yeah. Hey, but his size, like Scorpio could do a lot of. He could do the 450. No, hardly anyone's doing
Too Cold
that.
Scorpio, like so far in this pay-per-view, besides Rey Mysterio Jr., Too Cold Scorpio looked like the only guy who deserved to be in a ring so far.
Yeah, well, he wasn't WCW.
Yeah.
So before.
And he was calling himself here 2 Gold Scorpio.
Yeah, they had 2 belts. How about
Yeah.
that? You know, the TV title was a little worse for wear. Only had the main plate, and that's it.
Thank you, Curtis, for the thumbs up. I appreciate that for the like, man. Yeah. All right, so we get the winner, Too Cold Scorpio and Sandman win this match. They beat
Lots of please don't go chants to this match because everybody knew Public Enemy was on the way. And they did the dark match the next night. They didn't get signed there. But this was November of '95. That January they signed with WCW.
Yeah.
I think they had some good good brawls with Harlem Heat and Nasty Boys.
Nasty Boys. They were okay when they were fighting all over the building and using all the weapons and stuff. They didn't do a lot of that here. They did a little bit of it, but I think they tried to save some of that for the main event. One of the inside jokes here is before the match starts, Rocco Rock calls Woman a raggedy ass hoe, and Joey Styles says on commentary, "I expect a phone call from Atlanta." Because the booker of WCW at this time was Kevin Sullivan, who was Woman's husband at the time.
Oh. And then after
his own divorce,
we have a Axel Rotten versus JT Smith singles match that did not happen.
Yeah, this is why I didn't get to watch it from here on.
Yeah, I didn't see that part of it. I must have missed that part. Because the next thing I have on my thing is Bill Alfonso against Todd Gordon.
Axel Rotten defeated JT Thomas. Thing says singles match time NA. JT Smith says time
maybe it was scheduled and didn't happen for some reason.
Yeah.
JT Smith's whole gimmick was he was a bad wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he after botch.
So
I don't think he was in the FBI yet because I don't think the FBI existed yet.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And then we have Bill Alfonso versus Todd Gordon in a singles match with Beulah McGillicuddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The special guest referee. This was a shit show.
Well,
they weren't wrestlers.
They weren't, this is excusable because they weren't wrestlers. They're managers.
This was
imagine if like they built it up where let's say Jake Roberts and Arn Anderson, it's AEW, they're younger, they were never wrestlers.
So Commissioner Gordon here was the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission?
No.
He's supposed to be playing a commission of something.
He's a commissioner of VCW. He was the founder of VCW. At this point, he had already sold it to Heyman, but he was still an on-camera commissioner.
Okay.
And he was the guys getting WCW deals. Like he was the guy like that would tell WCW, like, hey, that we should get this guy for ECW. That's what they alleged, and that's why they got rid of him.
And this was actually the hottest angle in ECW at the time, which is why they kind of forgave the match. This is very Memphis. Memphis, you'd always have like a thing where like Jimmy Hart would wrestle the managers would wrestle. That's what this was. Yeah. ECW borrowed a whole lot from Memphis. It was an R-rated Memphis in a lot of ways. And so Todd Gordon is the ECW commissioner. Bill Alfonso, the storyline was that he was supposed to be, because before this, Bill Alfonso was a referee in WWF and WCW.
And then to be
And in NWA. So they brought him. He was for a while he would follow around Giant Gonzalez because he was his handler, kind of like how Tim White would be Andre's guy. He would ref all of Gonzalez's matches. He would travel with him on the road, and mainly because he was one of the few referees at that time that spoke Spanish, because Giant Gonzalez didn't speak any English. So he was in WCW when he was Elegante. He was in WWF when he was Giant Gonzalez. And when he came to ECW, the whole storyline was that he was not there working for ECW. He was there because the State Athletic Commission, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission, said ECW was out of control. We're bringing in Bel Alfonso, and if ECW doesn't go to the line, we're going to shut him down. And they hated him.
Oh,
they hated Bel Alfonso.
That's the enemy. Even lasted like when they would before the shows, before it actually started, they would announce, "Oh, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission is here, and it's so and so." Boo! Even ROH.
Yeah,
boo.
usually Frank Talent. Yeah.
And the guy would get booed out of the building because he was the enemy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bill Alfonso does win this match. He beats Todd Gordon.
Not Bill Alfonso's best match in ECW. That would be against Bueller.
Yeah, who was the referee?
Yeah. And then our next match here, Brian, take us into it.
And Beulah also Mrs. Tommy Dreamer.
Yes.
In there. So and then this is where Taz turns heel. He helps Bill Alfonso get the win, and this is where he talks about the whole thing Tony was talking about earlier with Sabu, and basically saying Bill Alfonso put food on his table, so he's got Bill Alfonso's back now. So your next match is supposed to be Mikey Whipwreck defending the ECW title against the Sandman, but as the Sandman is coming out looking incredibly drunk, Steve. Incredibly drunk. Steve Austin attacks him from behind, and in a very, very bit of foreshadowing here, after he beats up the Sandman, he takes a beer that somebody's trying to hand the Sandman, and he cracks it open and drinks it. First time you ever see Steve Austin drink a beer on a wrestling show is right here. And he's taking the title shot from the Sandman, so it's going to be Steve Austin against Mikey Whipwreck.
I think that's something.
And
so Steve Austin is clearly the only guy on this entire card besides Rey Mysterio who looks like an actual wrestler.
He wasn't.
he wasn't around for long.
Four guys was in WCW too.
Yeah. He looked absolutely fantastic here. He moved great. Ring psychology was great. Long hair looked strange.
Yeah.
It
did at the point, because right after this, even before he finishes up in ECW, he has a buzz cut, and it's like, wow, that looks weird. Steve Austin has short hair. What the hell?
But Jesus Christ, I cannot believe in the history books Steve Austin lost to Mikey Whipwreck.
Well, Mikey's whole thing was we don't know how he keeps winning.
Yeah,
he's just a lucky guy. That was his whole thing. Like he didn't want to be the world title. He's like, I'm the world champion, but I don't want to be the world champion. I want to lose it. But he kept winning.
Yeah, it was. I was watching like how's this guy even here?
And the funny thing, he took Steve Austin's stunner then, and that was the whippersnapper.
The whippersnapper.
When he was crazy and evil because the sister was managing him and Tajiri.
And he has a link. He has a link to some people that we know a little bit. Mikey Whipwreck was part of a thing called NYWC, New York Wrestling Connection. I believe he had a hand in training the Amazing Red, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong with that. And then the Amazing Red, of course, is the head trainer at House of Glory, where a lot of the major guys in PPW, the main event guys, the Vander James, Charles Mason,
I pulled up the
PPW
list.
and AEW.
So he actually was training at the PPW training center too for a while. I don't think he is anymore. Mikey Whipwreck.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, really?
He lives locally. So guys he trained: Amazing Red, Kurt Hawkins, Tony Nese, Zack Ryder, Don Marie, Jay Lethal,
Holy
the
shit.
SAT, who was Joel Maximo and Jose Maximo. I said the right. Mason Rage, No Idea, Trinity. She'd run in ROH, and then Trent Beretta, who is on IDW right now.
Jesus Christ, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
if Mikey Whipwreck walked in this room right now, I would not be able to tell you that was Mikey Whipwreck.
No, he doesn't look like the Mikey Whip. Yeah.
Wow.
He was the epitome of the underdog gimmick, and basically it was like ECW doing Rocky was him, even though he would just slip on a banana peel and win. Like the first time he won, I think something happened where he won the TV title, and it was like some kind of fluke, and then from there I think Mick Foley was really
a big was Grand Slam ECW.
Yeah.
Wow. Curtis says when he thinks to his knowledge that when Underdogs originally opened at PPW, it was Whipwreck was the head trainer.
Yes.
Which is weird because I think he's from upstate New York. So, but I mean, it's not too far away.
Maybe that's the connection with the House of Glory guys going to PPW.
Yeah, possibly. So they're all part of the Mike Whipwreck coaching tree, I guess you could say, to put it in football terms.
Yeah, super impressive.
But yeah, I think Cactus Jack, I think McFoley had a lot to do with him getting a bigger push in ECW.
Well, he said on his Wikipedia, it says he was trained by Mick Foley and Sonya Blaze.
Okay, and not only that, but like Mikey Whipwreck started as like a ring crew guy. Yeah. Like a lot of those like lower card guys, like your Donnie Allens, I think they would do the ring crew too. And yeah, they just put him in as a jobber sometimes, and he always had the shirt with a dragon on it. That was like his kind of signature.
And then he got one on it.
Mm-hmm. And but he would always ride to the shows with Cactus Jack because I guess maybe Whipwreck was on living in Long Island at that point. I don't know, but I think they would ride in together.
Yeah, it says Long Island in his profile.
Okay, yeah. Well, he sounds like he's from Long Island too. Makes sense.
Steve Austin here loses to Mikey Whipwreck, and
gets rolled up, his ass is hanging out.
Oh yeah.
By the way, when that was on ECW TV, they did not blur that out.
Oh wow. Seen Stone Cold's butthole.
Well, that happened a lot back then. Like Ric Flair would always do that, and DiBiase too.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
So they'd pull the tights, and then they would then do a series of spots with their ass hanging out in the crowd. Like,
it's his butt.
And then they finally pull it up when he'd like get back on top of the face.
Yeah, like whenever heel looks bad, they'll say they're showing their ass, and some of them would literally show their ass.
Because the crowd would eat that up in the 80s. His ass is hanging out.
Oh my
God! There's nothing more embarrassing than their ass.
So embarrassed.
Came out, but then Tommy Young comes over and boop and puts it back in.
Yeah, it helps him out.
The only time they actually teased that happening was Rick Rude, and he was actually wearing like a G-string or something when like he had Jake's wife on his tights, and Jake came out and like ripped his pants off, and they blurred it out on TV.
After this, until Austin moves over.
This was November. Austin only did 2 matches in ECW. This was the first one, and then because of what happened here, that December, I don't know if it was December to dismember or whatever they called it at that point. They did a 3-way match where it was Mikey, Austin, and Sandman. And then it was elimination, and Mikey was the first one out, and the rest of the match was basically Austin and Sandman. And Sandman beat Austin. So Steve Austin was 0-2 in ECW. Wow. And then shortly after that, like that December, like a month after this, he's on the Brother Love show as the ringmaster.
Could you imagine, like, you're ECW and like, man, we had this opportunity to have this dude here?
Yeah.
Well, I think Paulie knew. Oh, he had amazing promos. There's this one. It's after this match because he has the buzz cut at this point. And he's talking about how like maybe I need to step back. Like I'm better than this. And he's like talking about how they're chanting Hogan, they're chanting Goldust. Like I'm better than that man. And it's an amazing promo if you can find it on like YouTube, but or it might be on the network on like if you looked at this November, December 95 shows.
Austin really shined here on this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. If they thought they were gonna have Austin for a while, they would have pushed him, or they would have definitely made him champion. They knew that. I think they knew that Vince was coming calling.
Yeah.
So we're only having for a few months, having put some people over, and then he'll be the rest is history.
Yeah. So then we have Sabu versus Hack Myers for
the Shah.
Yeah, Hack Myers a guy and it's never got into each other.
Yeah. 12 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm gonna be honest, this match did not do much for me.
It wasn't good. The Sabu stuff doesn't age well.
Sabu is perfect when he's tagging with RVD.
Yeah.
Tag him in, do your crazy stuff, tag out.
And the only thing Hack Myers was known for was he would hit a guy and they would say Shaw, and the guy would hit him and they would say shit. That was it.
And he wasn't very good
either. Sabu wins this match, and we'll just move on.
Well, the people are so happy to see him back though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer
God damn it.
versus Raven and Cactus Jack.
And as Funk comes out here in 1995, they say he's nearing retirement.
Yeah. He's middle-aged and crazy.
He would wrestle for another 20 years.
Tommy Dreamer looked great.
Yeah.
Tommy looked in great shape. Raven, I was always a Raven fan.
Yeah.
I always liked
this is right before Raven would go to WCW. So.
Yeah, man.
Maybe.
You had a ways to go because he was around for like another year and a half. This was right before. This was like a few months before Cactus left.
Okay.
Raven was that guy who him and DDP were the ones who were like, when I wanted to turn WCW on, they were the ones that I was looking
Okay.
forward to or on when I turned over. I just really, I don't know, his look was awesome. I just liked his whole, he just walked. I know every time I made a creative character for a while in video games, my guy always did the Raven thing where you walk over, just lay in the
sit in the corner.
Yeah.
It took me a while. It took me a while to warm up to Raven because I'm like, why is Scotty Flamingo, Johnny Polo dressed like this now?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, so this match was fun. Cactus Jack Mick Foley comes out wearing a the
Dungeon of Doom. Dungeon of Doom. Not the Legion of Doom. People like the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, and I said I love the Dungeon of Doom.
Because here was to be against the ECW fans.
Yeah.
So he would like come in and grab a headlock because they all want to see chairs and violence.
Mick Foley. All right, here's a not so much controversial, but like Mick Foley back in the day was a handsome dude. Like face wise,
yeah.
Like I mean, he was missing some teeth and stuff, but he was a good looking guy.
And,
he was a good looking guy. He was a stud.
His wife thought so. His wife was people would say he married up back in the day. His wife was a model.
Yeah, his wife was good looking too back in the day.
I thought Mick Foley was a good looking guy back in the day.
Yeah,
we always are looking good in the shows. I wanted to give Mick Foley some love here. He looked good.
His whole thing at this point was like Andy was saying, he was anti-hardcore. There was a match where he was wrestling Dreamer and he wanted Dreamer to get disqualified for using a closed fist in ECW, and the referee's like, Cactus, this is ECW, there's no disqualifications. And so he just stepped out of the ring and he wanted to be counted out, and he's like, there's no count outs either. And then you like complain about pulling the hair, and the ref just goes, Cactus, why are you being such a pussy? Referee.
Wear like airbrush shirts that would say something about Vince or Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, in fact, because Dreamer rips off the Dungeon of Doom shirt. Or no, Cactus tries to put the Dungeon of Doom shirt on Dreamer, and under it he has another shirt that has Bischoff's face on it, and it says, "Forgive me, Uncle Eric." Because ECW fans, they didn't like WWF, they didn't like WCW. They at least had a little bit of respect for McMahon. They couldn't stand Bischoff.
Yeah,
he was like public enemy number one, especially because WCW was taking everybody. Yeah, at this point, Benoit got taken.
Jericho.
I think Jericho was still there at this point.
Okay,
but Malenko, Benoit, Sabu for a little bit.
Yeah,
and
Tommy Dreamer for a hot minute.
Tommy Dreamer pulls the shirt up over Mick's face and then punches punches him the Eric Bischoff in the face while it's actually Cactus Jack, which is a funny spot.
And during this match, they also chanted fire because this was like a month after or 2 months after the fire chair incident that almost got ECW shut down.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle was there, and they turned the lights out, and either Funk or Cactus I think Cactus had a chair on fire, and he swings it at Terry Funk, and it bounces off the ropes, and it lands on this flaming shirt lands on a fan.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine?
Is that still, did they cut that out of the network, or is it still there?
I don't even know if that show's on the network. I don't know what event it was. But that's why this is a relatively, as far as like gore and blood and guts, this is a relatively tame ECW show because they were on their best behavior. Yeah. I mean, they're getting people with VCRs and stuff, but there was blood, like Johnny Grunge bled a lot, and I think Raven bleeds in this match, but on the ECW violence scale, this was a fairly tame show.
This is no more than you would see on Wednesday night sometimes with the Cody Rhodes match.
Yeah. I mean, but back, you got to remember in 1995, and this is one of the reasons ECW caught fire like this. Nobody was doing that. Like,
dude, I remember my friend telling me, he's like, "You watch ECW?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Dude, I watched a dude take a cheese grater to the forehead."
That was
and I was like, "What?" He goes, "Dude, they were stabbed each other with ice picks. The one guy hit another guy with a car." And I was like, "There's no way that's real." And they're like, dude, it's one, like the way that was pitched to me as like an 11-year-old, 10-year-old kid was WWE and WWF is so fake, and ECW is legit guys fighting.
Well, yeah, because they try to be like more realistic, more like street fights.
That was the selling point. That's what tried to get people for me to watch it.
And that's why like Cactus Jack had that shirt, because WCW was the Dungeon of Doom. It was the Yeti and Zodiac and all, and then WWF you had like TL Hopper and Rad Radford and the Bobby Donnas and
had all these cartoon things. And then ECW had more like real, like with WCW,
like guys you pluck out of a bar.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else closing here with ECW that you want to add, or?
This is a rare one here because Dreamer's team wins, and he almost never beat Raven. In fact, he never beat Raven in a one-on-one match until Raven's last match in ECW before he went to WCW in '97. It was right after the Barely Legal pay-per-view. because a barely legal 97, Raven drops the ECW title to Funk, who still isn't retired at that point, obviously. And then Dreamer beats him in a loser leaves ECW match.
And then Tommy Dreamer and Raven then became partners
Tag
with
champs. Yeah.
well, no, later on with Impact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they became partners in ECW too when Raven came back.
No, not partners. I mean, like they actually started helping Impact Wrestling. Like they were both there. Like,
okay.
They were on camera, but then they were doing stuff behind
Raven
camera.
Was
Dreamer's still there.
And a world champion at the time in Impact.
That's
well, it would
crazy.
have been TNA, whatever.
Early days, yeah. Raven was champion in the very early days.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add before we're gonna close the show here? I'm gonna do the Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 100 women's real quick.
There's much better ECW shows that we can watch.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another one.
I mean, ones that match you like this match is fucking awesome.
We'll definitely dive back into it, but our next one will be we will do the Undertaker, which will be our next show. So I'm gonna go real quick. Based on what happened here, a little behind the curtain spotlight here with Ethan Page in the magazine. We got some ringside stuff on LOD.
I was gonna say, just give us the top 10.
All right,
the women, and then the last number 100.
Yeah, I don't think there's any independent women.
Yeah, because 100's not like 100. Like if you think all the women in AEW and Impact and WWE, that's 100 chicks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fly through this.
That's why I don't like the tag team ones 100. Like, well, there's fucking 20 tag teams in AEW.
Yeah, so I agree with number 1, 100%. Bailey.
Okay, I was gonna say who's number 1.
Bailey's number 1. I think she solidified as the official Grand Slam champion this year. Had a very long title reign. Held 2 titles at one time with the tag team in the singles.
Yeah, for this year. For their calendar year.
Yeah, especially when they went to press, she was basically champion the entire time.
Yeah, Becky number 2. So I mean Becky obviously forfeits the title.
Took off, yeah.
Number 3 is Asuka.
Okay,
I agree with that. Number 4, Charlotte Flair.
Okay, no, she left.
Yeah, a little high for Charlotte right now because it wasn't her best year as a professional wrestler, but it is still Charlotte. Sasha Banks, number 5. Little high for Sasha Banks because once again she didn't come on until late in the year.
Yeah,
to me for any
tag champs.
Sheeta, I would have put Sheeta 4.
Hikaru Shida.
Yeah,
maybe.
So the top 5 is all WWE.
Oh wow.
Sheeta rounds out 6. Tessa Blanchard 7. I would have had Tessa Blanchard in the top 5. I would have put Tessa
world champion.
Tessa over Sasha Banks. That's just my opinion.
She shows up at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Rio 8, 9 Io Shirai.
Okay.
10
both champions.
Mayu
Iwatani.
Atawa. Yeah, thank you. And I'll fly through the rest here. For 11, Rhea Ripley. 12, Jordan Grace. 13, Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler should be. I love Jordan Grace.
Well, she didn't have the best year. Match wise,
and they kind of shelved her for a while. Yeah, I'll agree with it.
And she was a vampire for one day.
Thunder Rosa 14, Kimberly 15, Nyla Rose 16. First AEW Women's Champion. And she's not in the top 10. Little disrespectful there. Taya Valkyrie 17, Kaylee Ray 18, Kylie Ray 19, Nikki Cross 20. Nikki Cross had a big year this year. But she won some big matches, and she was feuding with 3 champions at one time.
I don't know. I think that's a fair place for her.
I think it's a fair place, but she had a good year. Kairi Sane 21, Britt Baker 22. I think Britt Baker had a great year I
think Britt would have been in my top 10.
Yeah. Bianca Belair, Dakota Kai 24, Allison Kay 25, Tegan Knox 26, Alexa Bliss 27, Momo
Watanabe.
Yep, 28. Mercedes Martinez 29, and then Diana Purrazzo 30. Chris Statlander, I'm just gonna do because she was kind of local. She was 31. I'm just gonna kind of go through here, see if we have any other names that kind of jump out at me. Brie Priestley,
Brie Priestley,
yeah. 37.
Is Yuka Sakazaki on there? I love her. Probably not.
How about Maki Ito? Is she on there?
Hold on, we'll see. Maybe I might have passed him. Just double checking.
Maki Ito is just mainly known for dressing like a schoolgirl and always giving the middle finger in pictures, though.
Now, Tony Storm 45.
Mephisto's on there. I can't.
Alley Cat 58. That's an independent girl.
Yep.
Sonya Deville 56.
Who's next to Sonya Deville there?
Sonya Deville
with the mask.
Alex. This girl.
Yeah.
She's actually that's Bubblegum. Alexia Nicole.
No idea.
The Bubblegum Princess. Billy Kay 59. Yeah, that's crazy to me. Naomi 63, Billy Kay 59.
I feel like I wouldn't make my top.
Naomi wasn't around for a lot of the year too.
Yeah. What was the one you said? Hario.
It was Billy Kay.
What's that? Is that are they the two you were looking for? These two?
Can I get your hand on the magazine for a second? So number 65 is Utami Hayashishita. She is in Stardom, I believe.
And then the other girl looks like all white, like a geisha.
Oh, Hiroyu Matsumoto. I'm not familiar with her. She looks pretty cool. Sendai Girls. Okay, Leela Hirsch. She was just on TNA. Who was
I'll put
Ginny?
it in.
Yeah.
Is Rebel Kell on the list?
I wonder.
I don't
doubt
know. Pass some people.
It's just a girl with a dog.
Rebel Kell just looks. Have you ever seen her in Stardom? She looks like a giant. She's from like Seattle, I think, and I think she's close to 6 feet tall, and she just wears really short shorts and like a cowgirl top, and she wrestles in Japan with all the Stardom women, and she's like a foot taller than all of them.
Jeez.
All I'm saying is,
here's the Thunder Road. Holly Dead. That's her former tag partner.
If Veda Scott is 90, what is that? 95. Christina Marie should be on here.
Marty Bell, 96. Number 100, Max the Impaler. She looks like
Marty Bell, I think now a free agent too. I think her NWA
champion in like 4 independent companies right now or something like that.
Yeah, but the thing with these lists is like, if they know you, you get ranked a little bit higher.
I would guess from but, 55 down is not holding a title in any division or anything they're in.
Christina Marie's in there because she has no name value because of Ring of Honor. That's why she's in there.
Yeah, but I mean that's what the thing is. If they don't know you, you could be having 5-star matches for the past 7 months, but they don't know you.
Ethan Page, Curtis is a big fan of, and he said his Impact career is about to expire soon.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I think that's why the North dropped the titles, even though they just lost them before that too. But they just dropped the titles to the Good Brothers.
Yeah. I just want to pull one thing on the back real quick. So that's a little bit of the women's top 100.
And the tag team one is coming out soon.
Yeah,
I think the digital is out.
Okay.
I didn't see the list, but I did see number 1.
It's FTR. It's FTR. Yeah. From what I've seen. We'll get into the tag team ones there. Here we go. Here's the 2020 Achievement Awards. Rookie.
I do have the list if you want to go through the tag teams.
Okay.
No, I'll wait till it comes in. Rookie of the Year for 2020. You must have fully qualified. So this is what they're trying to say, like who will win these achievements, and they're kind of putting them out now. And some people who are saying they're top candidates.
Okay.
So who would you say for Rookie of the Year?
I don't know what they consider a rookie.
Yeah, what do they do?
By the way, so really quick, something cool with the tag team list. It's the top 50 tag teams. Intergender. There's men's and women's tag teams on here.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, the Sasha and Bailey are on it.
Yeah. So the number one candidate is the only one I really know here is Dominic Mysterio.
Oh,
yeah, for Rookie of the Year.
Pat McAfee, I would say, even though he only had 1 match, he's going to have more.
Oh, his promos have been fantastic.
A little long-winded.
Yeah. Most improved wrestler. Some of the ones on the list here. Number 2 they have for top candidate has to win. Otis is on there. Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is the most improved this year. Jey Uso.
PWIs, they're talking kayfabe too. So if a guy like rises up the ranks, even if it's not like better in ring, they're going to.
Here's the name that I like to see win most improved wrestler of the year. Ace Austin. Ace Austin's on that list.
I wouldn't have thought him bad. I guess they get improved as
where he's kind of
he's winning matches now. Yeah,
yeah, but I would never have said he was bad. But
comeback wrestler of the year. If it's not Edge, I don't know. He's not even a top candidate. It's Randy Orton, Chris Sabin, Ken Shamrock, Asuka, Eric Young. Eric Young, I'd give it to as well. I think he's a good comeback story so far. Mickey James. I
don't remember Mickey James.
Rob Van Dam and MPV. If it's not Edge, that's crazy. Inspirational wrestler of the year. Top candidates are Shad Gaspar, Jey Uso. Once again, I know for me it'd be tough for inspirational, not Edge. Like his comeback.
Yeah, I don't want to speak ill of Dead, but Shad Gaspar didn't even wrestle this year, did he?
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
He was in a clusterfuck if you're counting that, but
they actually put on for inspirational wrestler of the year the Speaking Out movement, Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, and Warhorse on that list. Most popular wrestler of the year. Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Drew McIntyre, Asuka, John Moxley are. I'd give Moxley.
Yeah, he's pretty popular.
He had a great year this year. Yeah. Most hated: Seth Rollins, Bailey, Orton, Roman Reigns, MJF. MJF has to be pretty. He's hated, but he's liked that he's hated.
Baron Corbin should be on there.
Baron Corbin's on that list. Evil, Sami Callihan, Sasha Banks. Feud of the year: Bailey, Sasha Banks, Edge, Orton, Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy, Callahan, Tessa Blanchard. Rush versus PCO, MJF, Cody Rhodes, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. There's a whole bunch. Indie Wrestler of the Year, War Horses really high on that list. I don't know. Tony Deppen making a top candidate appearance here. Nick Cage, Alley Cat, Nick Gage. Sorry. Match of the year is they're looking at Ospreay and Tanahashi.
It was very good.
Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi. Okada Ibushi. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was very good. That was the first night of G1.
Naito Okada. Naito Okada. Blanchard versus Callahan. Cole versus Gargano. That's what they said. Ospreay, Sabre Jr., Omega Pac. I mean, fucking Finn Balor versus.
Yeah, I wonder if that match
happened later.
With the time of this writing.
Yeah.
Like, did that match happen after? I don't know. Because these matches, like the magazines, sometimes they're written 2 months in advance.
Yeah. Wrestler of the year, I would give it to Moxley again. Moxley or Adam Cole. They got to be the top runners.
Kayfabe wise, it's got to be either Moxley or McIntyre. Moxley the champion pretty much all year.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see what else is there. And then the last thing I kind of seen on here that was kind of interesting is this magazine had they had Then and Now for Dustin Rhodes, and they had the PWI official ratings for Raw right now.
That was my favorite part of the PWIs back in the day.
WWE Raw, they have Drew McIntyre's champion. Number one contender would be Bobby Lashley, then Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Keith Lee. I mean, Lashley's been on a tear. They don't put him in the title picture.
Yeah.
I think they still do the thing where your secondary champion is number one. Like they would always have the Intercontinental Champion be the number one contender. Yeah. Like if it was 1990, it'd be like WWF champion Hulk Hogan. The number one contender would be like Rick Rude.
SmackDown, they went Roman Reigns, number one, Bray Wyatt, then Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Braun Strowman, Otis. AEW would be John Moxley, Brody Lee, Lance Archer, MJF, Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston. Impact would be Eric Young at the time. Raju.
That's a horrible name.
Moose, the X Division champion.
Yeah. Yeah, so at the time, Finn Balor's still champ. They had Damian Priest as number one, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed. It's pretty much all I got.
Got indie stuff up top there. The middle of the right page near the top.
Pro Wrestling Noah, NXT UK, New Focus Wrestling, Coastal Championship. Nothing.
What is New Focus Wrestling?
New Focus Wrestling.
No idea.
Everyone has bad eyesight.
Somebody there has a friend that writes for PWI is what I'm going to bet.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're putting indies, you put like GCW maybe or something like that, or PWG.
Usually they kind of always throw one like lower indie, not to make the slide any indies. So like Outbreak's been in there.
Back in the day, it was always the PWF in North Carolina, George South and Italian Stallion.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk off camera, but I'm just kind of throwing out to Brian now on camera. So I'm thinking maybe Saturday sometime, maybe Saturday in the morning or afternoon, if you want to do Survivor Series pro wrestling cards.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good. And then if you want to join us on like your tablet or something, you could do it too, because I could just link you into this and we could try to figure it out too. We can do that. All right. And if anybody, maybe we'll have a guest join in. Maybe we'll reach out to Curtis or maybe Alex, and we could all play along and do our PWI scorecards.
I can only name 2 matches on that show.
I don't know many either.
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Yep. All the champions against each other. So that's easy. I don't know who's all in the teams, but
New Day versus Drew, which is people are excited for.
Yeah. Lashley and Sami Zayn. Maybe they'll go back to where now Sami Zayn was making fun of Lashley's sisters. Remember that?
God. Yeah. The New Day promo on Raw was absolutely horrible.
I didn't see it. New Day's going to be in Gears of War.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think though Xavier looks the most like him.
Yeah. Oh, Big E looks good.
I thought he was the worst out of all of them.
Yeah.
They did the change up on the Raw Women's Survivor Series team. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose are out, and Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce are in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Nia, Shayna, Peyton, Lacey, and Lana.
All right. Brian, what do you got to plug?
Murder My Dude. Same thing as always. We just put out episode 90, getting so close to episode 100 there. This week we did the Toy Box Killer. The week before we did the Unabomber. Funny we brought up Kane earlier. His one of his first wrestling names was Unabomb.
Hey, Christmas creature, it's coming.
Yep.
It is, yeah.
That's what I'll do tonight is listen to the newest episode.
Yeah, so it's project200.com. You can find it if you look up Murder My Dude on Facebook. Wherever you listen to this podcast, you search Murder My Dude, you'll find it. It's got comedic bend on true crime. We actually did some updates this week on some old cases because there was a guy we've covered before that died. One of the killers we covered in the past died last week.
Interesting. We do have the projecthumanoid.com link in our links below under the tornado tag as well, so you can follow that, as well as what Andy's about to plug. What do you got?
Outbreak Wrestling on YouTube. Outbreak the Quarantine.
That's not in there.
That's what we should all, if you have time, Tony, that's what we should do over the weekend too, is review the Quarantine Cup.
We could do that. Maybe I'll watch that tomorrow, and we'll do a Survivor Series and the Quarantine Cup.
Yeah, totally.
We'll do a double thing. Sound good?
Yeah, that works for me.
Perfect. So
I was gonna plug that. Yeah, but you want your blue gold shirts are available on Pro Wrestling Tees, both of them, and they're also having sale up to 40% off. But I don't know what 40%. New Japan shirts are 30% off. I think the indie guys are getting the shaft for only 20% off.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And then if you can go over and check out Pro Wrestling Empire on YouTube, me and my match with Andrew Palace is up there. You see all the great production there. I thought it was a good match. And also they also partner with Hungarian Championship Wrestling, right? Because Laszlo is Hungarian and he has connections. So the matches from Pro Wrestling Empire also go on this YouTube page, and some of them get over 20,000 views.
Holy shit!
So yeah, you just want to go over and type. I'm gonna try and find it. So
and they have a ramp. They have a ramp going out to the ring. I love it.
Yeah,
like WCW used to have.
If you go on my matches up right now. On so it's HCW Hungary.
How many people watch your match in Hungary?
HUNGARY. We are PWE episode 5, and then it's written in Hungarian. And there is currently 1,410 views. And that went up 11 hours ago.
Nice.
So I will share that later. So HCW Hungary. I'll say I can't say the name because look at this name.
Yeah, you're on your own. Look like someone punched their keyboard.
I've heard Laszlo's he'll speak Hungarian. I'm just like, what are you saying? It's like it's like Russian kind of.
Yeah,
we're gonna be huge in Budapest. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. We're gonna blow up.
Yeah, so just check out Outbreak Wrestling on YouTube, Pro Wrestling Empire, and HCW Hungary.
Nice,
if you can, if you will.
Yeah, and then also you can check out myself and Andy on Truth Behind Illusion. Our episode will be dropping on Thanksgiving. We're going to be talking about Andy won't be on that episode, but we talked about our Gettysburg trip. And then also you can check Andy out, Truth Behind Illusion, Tornado Tag Podcast, and Not Cool in High School. He's doing triple duty.
We're doing it all.
He's doing it all. Yeah, that's like Andy's my right hand man.
I'm gonna sit you through. I'm gonna help you through this hard time blues. My hand right now is reaching out. You tell what promos I watched recently.
Yeah, I'm
having a hard time keeping these alligators back.
We have our IWEP network Christmas Secret Santa coming up soon, where everybody in the network all picked random names, and we're gonna get so we may videotape that as well and get footage to see who got who.
Yeah. You know, it'd be funny if we somehow put Lady in it, but I don't know what present she would get.
I mean, if
Heidi buys the present from Lady.
If anybody wants to buy, if anybody would buy Lady a gift, they're more than welcome to. Yeah. If it's a toy, I don't know if I can.
Enough.
The whole kitchen floor is filled with fuck. She brings a toy in every podcast and then just leaves it here. I'm always picking up the toys, but yeah. So that'll do it for Tornado. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to put up our faces. Look at these faces.
We're going to throw things at the camera.
Boom. There we are. Let me get rid of the chat here. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.
To the NWA music.